Well, hello there, and welcome to Tuesday Night Festivities on a Monday. KB with you, Karyn Bryant, hanging out with you. So here's the thing. It is Monday because this time tomorrow night I will be on my way to London. So very excited about that. So we are doing the show tonight just because I can't do it tomorrow. And we wanted to definitely get one in this week because I'm actually going to stay over there for a while and may just kind of take a vacation. Oh, my God. What a concept, Karyn. So I don't know if I'll be doing if we'll have one right after. I don't know. We will figure that out. But anyway, today, Renato and I wanted to obviously preview that and get into some of those things. And we'll talk about the fights from the other night as well. But just giving people a chance to get here. Okay, I already see we've got some. Hello. What's up, Rich buddy? How are you? Good to see you. Yes, Tim, I know it's an amazing city. I've been there. I guess this will be my fourth time. So that will be pretty great. Very much excited about that. So definitely looking forward to it. Hello, Fernando. People are just starting to get here. So, there's only a few of us right now. But, Renato will be here. So somebody did make a good point, though, on the last one, saying to set reminders or something on the channel. And if you are here for the first time, you should definitely subscribe. But it is a good idea to maybe hit some reminders because usually this is on Tuesday night. Usually it's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock West Coast time, but we do make some changes and call audibles every now and then. Last week with Michelle Watterson, we went an hour earlier. So these are the kind of things to think about. So speaking of Michelle, really tough fight for her. Amanda Lemos is such a good fighter, so tough. And I love the sportsmanship between the two of those women, but a tough go of it for Michelle. I believe Amanda was the biggest favorite on the card. So we knew it was a tough fight going into it, but Michelle was such a good guest. She's such a great girl. So we had her on last week. We talked all about the injury that she had. Well, it's funny because we talked about it, but we didn't talk about it because she didn't want to necessarily reveal what it was. And I totally respect that. So we talked a lot about what was going on in her life, though. We talked about the films that she's been working on, why she was away for a while because she was working on a film. And we talked about her haircut, the one that people are calling the Karyn haircut, which is funny because KB here without the Karyn haircut. But so she was great. So that was episode 44 because this is 45. So look for that with Michelle Watterson. But also the week prior, we had Shane Burgos on, and Shane picked up the victory at UFC Long Island. So you should go back and look at that episode with Shane as well, because we were obviously talking all about the fight with Charles that was coming up. So those last couple shows featured UFC Long Island people. You should definitely go check them out. What up, Joe D? Aloha from Kauai. Stoked to see you. Well, thank you. I went to Kauai once a while ago. My God, what a beautiful, beautiful island. Ooh. What a beautiful place. Definitely need to get there. Yeah, that's right, Fernando. Notifications on. That's right. Okay, wait. You Franklin Cap says your memory's so trash. You thought it was Tuesday because you saw that it was festivities. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Ideally, we will build this up and be able to do it more than one night a week. And, that is something to build toward, right? We do want to get there. This is literally a 2-person operation. And if you guys, you obviously know what's going on, right? It's really a 1-woman operation here. And Renato sometimes comes on time and sometimes comes on Brazilian time. But so, sometimes I get comments and people are like, well, why don't you do this with the channel? And why don't you do that? And why don't you change this? And how come you haven't made highlight reels? And why aren't you doing this? And why are you doing that? That's just because it's just all your girl KB doing all this. I don't have assistants. I don't have PAs. I don't have a massive, company behind me. I don't have sponsors. I don't have all this stuff. It's a 1-woman show here. So I do what I can and I'm trying my darndest. But, I'm trying. But if you do like this show, which it seems like people do, please tell your friends about it. And I am probably going to make these into audio podcasts as well. I'll have some long flights. I got to write my scripts on the way over there, but never know on the way back. I will do, Joe D, that's what I was just going to say. So it's not on iTunes, but I will now have time, I think, to, there is a bug in my beverage. Who runs this establishment anyway? I'm efforting that. Squid Inc., new subscriber, longtime UFC fan. I just realized the other day you were the reporter from Rampage's motorboat video. Yes, also you handle Renato like a champ. I laughed at the Watterson Gomez video. Okay, well, thank you. Yes, Squid Inc., yes, the video with Quentin from years ago, that is me. It is very funny. It's just that my hair is straight in that video, so maybe that's why you didn't know. He's a great guy. We are friends. He never touched me. Look closely at that video. You will see he never actually touches me, but we are good friends. And Quentin is hilarious. So the stuff that I do with Rampage on here is great. And we want to get Rampage on. We will have him on as a guest for sure, because we definitely love him. Mustache Dad, is that Wayne Newt? It is. You know what? And I will, since you asked, I'll take this moment to share this with you. This is an autographed, let me hide this, Wayne Newton picture. I worked with Wayne on something. And so he wrote, "To Karyn, all my love, now and always, to a beautiful lady and a great talent." So Wayne Newton said that about me. So, it's true. It's kind of like Megan Thee Stallion, when she says, per the Recording Academy. It's like that kind of thing. Wayne said I was dope. Boom. There it is. Print it. Frank, we're gonna, okay. So it's an interesting question. Which fighter has the best potential for joining the commentary team? It's interesting. There are some people that are pretty chatty. That's a good question. Everybody's got their own podcast now, and I don't have time to listen to everybody's podcast. So I would be curious to hear how some of these ladies and gentlemen are doing. We like to have people represented from the different weight classes. And if I'm not mistaken right now, Michael is there for the middleweights, but he doesn't work with me at the desk necessarily much anymore because he's calling fights all the time. So there is kind of a middleweight vacancy. Sugar will talk to middleweights and light heavies, and Alan obviously can talk. Everybody can talk about all the divisions, but it's just nice when we do have somebody that's lived in one specific division, actually speaking from that perspective. Anthony obviously was a middleweight before as well. So, we do have that, but there's not, I don't think we have an analyst who's a straight up pure middleweight right now. Dominic can do the lighter weight classes. Felder obviously can go through a couple of the lighter weight classes as well there and stuff like that. So like I said, everybody's great and everybody's prepared. It's just that there are, that to me would be the whole. And then also, Angie does it with us sometimes. We obviously don't have too many ladies with us alongside. Michelle Watterson, speaking of which, she had done the show with me once over at Fox, which was fun, but we were talking about whether or not she wanted to try that again. So there might be some other fighters that will be coming along. We shall see. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. A super chat for KB before Uncle Not shows up and takes the credit. I'll let him know is all you. Oh, well, thank you, Jay Renard Leather. I appreciate it. That's very sweet. Squidding. Rampage is going to be on, and we're going to get him on. He's like I said, he's our buddy. It's a question of timing. And then he was away working on a film and various and sundry things. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let me show you guys what is coming up on the show today. So we will react a little bit to UFC Long Island. We are mostly going to talk about London on this show probably though. Talk about UFC London, preview some of those. So Cheaty's Choice. Cheaty, for those of you who don't know, Cheaty is the Tuesday Night Fistivities mascot, bearded dragon. He chooses fights. And now, so now we've got enough of these done to realize Cheaty actually picks the winner now. So straight up, Cheaty's going to pick the winner. So we will show that to you. I want to know what you guys think, who's the best James Bond. We were talking a little bit of British stuff. So I just got a little thing there. We can get into that. And then, various and sundry things. One of which is, I want to know what you guys think is the, the best British bands, all that. I was looking for some of my old shirts to wear. I was looking to see if I could find my old Smith shirt. It's packed away somewhere too far away. I couldn't find it. And so the only ones I had kind of nearby, there was like a U2 shirt, and then you guys would all give me grief because they're Irish. They're not English. And then I was looking for some other stuff. I was like, okay, well, I don't have that. And so I don't know. My Smith shirts are somewhere, but I was a massive Smiths fan back in the day, back in high school. And I guess we could get, well, hey, everybody, I just want to say hi. Is that Shy B76ers? People get so clever with the names and the things and the stuff. Hello, Fernando. Hi, everyone. So we are going to talk about a lot of English things. For those who don't know, one of the earlier episodes of our show, Renato Laranja did a really funny imitation of Paddy the Batty, Paddy and his Scouser, his whole thing. So that is a really fun one that you should go back and look for. It was an early episode. And then I also isolated just that clip. And so says something like Renato Laranja cracks KB up with his, Scouser impression. So at any rate, folks, he is here. People talk about CP time. I think Brazilian time is even worse. But here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, 27-time world jiu-jitsu champion, Mr. Renato Laranja. Give it up.
Cheerio, bird. I'm glad I'm here. I'm happy.
Evening.
I'm better late than ever. Hold on. Let me get.
And you're not in family court.
Not right now, porra. I'm back on house arrest. Now.
Yeah.
I must warn you, porra.
What?
What you said about?
It's either going to be the Cricket Wireless or you got to go in 20 minutes. You got a heifer coming over. There's something because we're not usually together on Mondays. And so I don't know how I'm eating into your time somehow.
Listen, clam up over there. I didn't even said nothing yet. I just did the fucking green home over here and I never have a problems in there.
Yeah.
Hide off the bat, fucking the wireless problems. So that's a bad sign for us. So I don't fucking know. That is what it is. It's part of the charm.
It is part of the charm. We are here. YouTube does seem to be a little more stable, but we shall see. We shall see.
Hopefully, we have a good luck for her.
That's right. But so, how did your child support case go last week?
Well, I'm not at liberty to disclose any detail about that one because it's ongoing. I'm still have to go back next week for her.
Okay. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Hey, so I told everybody what we were going to get into, and I want to make sure I acknowledge this before we get too far in here. Manic Hispanic with a donation here saying Renato counts championship belts. Hunter Biden counts rocks. Sean Connery was the best 007. Oasis sucks, but Fountains DC rocks. Okay, I have a couple of things about this. Sean Connery and the Bond thing, I was telling them, Renato, we're going to get into a discussion of the James Bonds.
Yeah.
I've got a graphic with the people, and Oasis doesn't suck.
I can't say much on the Oasis. I mean, I don't think they suck, but I couldn't name one song aside
Wonderwall?
from. No, I'm saying aside from, gonna be the one who saved me. I don't know any other. Now I remember back in the '90s, these guys was a big deal. It was never my kind of stuff, but I certainly didn't think they suck. I mean, they could sing, they could play music. They seem to be fucking assholes, from what I understand. But that's part of the charm too, like they grumpy fucking.
Yeah, Liam and Noel, they hate each other. Yeah. The Gallagher brothers, they fight all the time.
But they also hate everybody, including their fans.
Right. I actually like Oasis. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I probably saw them or something. I don't know. I do like Oasis though. I
don't got no problem with those guys. But I don't know what's the other shit he's talking about. What was the other thing he said?
He was making fun of Hunter Biden, and then
I got that, but I'm saying.
Oh, so then he was saying Fountains DC. I guess that's another band. I don't know
that
them
in my life. Fountains.
I don't know them either.
That sounds like a DC area recovery center for like drug addiction.
It does.
Fountains, DC.
Come on down to Fountains, DC. It's right next to Boundaries, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pines or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's just I'm getting flashbacks of like when I was younger, driving by this place that was very clearly like in hindsight you go. That place was a rehab center. Like, how like you don't know stuff when you're a kid and then you see it later in life. You're like, oh. So
the house where there's all those fucking people, all those fucking motley crew of different people coming in and out of that shit. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this? And they're always smoking cigarette and drinking coffee. Totally. Because they can't have nothing else. So they fucking chain smoke and drink coffee, kill themselves.
Speaking of chain smoking, I think I told you before, it's not English. We'll get to it. Eventually there are some English people on the show, but the kiddo and I are rewatching Mad Men. For me, it's like the fourth time. And
what do
I
you
love the show so much. Mad Men. And you talk about the chain smoking. All they do in that show is smoke. It is. Oh, Cricket came in. Wait. I think I thought I got a sound of a cricket. I don't know. No, that's a burp. That's not a cricket. Are you there? I can kind of hear you. Wait, I can hear that you're coming. I hear that you're coming.
No.
Maybe go out and back in. Here, how about that? I know that I'm going to remove him, and then he's going to come back. And are you there? There you are. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You can see me or no?
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
We can see you now?
Oh, okay, cool. Maybe just do that.
We're good.
Fucking try.
I will. And it's just, here we go. So we got a super chat here. So you can drop cricket for T-Mobile.
I love it.
So here we go, Renato. We can, I feel like we should have a quick little react to some of the things this weekend. A tough go for Brian Ortega. Hate seeing a fight end like that. Obviously, Yair, I take nothing away from him. He's an incredible fighter. It just kind of sucks. And you could obviously say, hey, Yair caused the injury, so whatever. But like, it's a very anticlimactic way for a fight to end.
One of the worst. I mean, what could be worse? It's like twisting your knee or something. I mean, it's just one of those fucking things. And every once in a blue moon, it's gonna happen to somebody. You know, somebody's gonna twist their fucking knee or their ankle or something like that. And that's just, what can you do? You know. I mean, the one thing I could say is kudos to Yair to even put Cheese City in a position where he had to try to pull his arm out of a arm bar, you know. That was surprising to me in the first place, you know. So, but I don't think that's how anybody, I mean, even Yair looked disappointed, you know. These guys don't want to win like that.
That's what I was just going to say. If you get a W over a guy like Brian Ortega, you want it to really have been a harder. Yeah. You really want to earn that. Like, you want it.
Yeah. The only silver lining, I guess, is you get money for doing almost nothing in there. You know what I mean? And then maybe you can turn around quick and get another fight. Maybe, you know.
Right.
If you're Yair, you know. Obviously, fucking, you know, Cheese City is gonna be out for a minute, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, the thing about this that I'm concerned is while he's rehabbing, I don't know who's gonna take care of Trace.
Oh, that is a real concern.
Like need some support, and I feel like he's only have one good arm. Your Uncle Hanach got to get in there, and she need shoulders to die on.
Tracy might, I don't know, this could be crazy, might want to help her man. And, you know, she might want to help rehabilitate him. She might feel that now it's her turn to, you know, take care of her warrior and all that.
Curtains for him now. Now it's your Uncle Hanach's turn.
Now that she sees he's weak and
he's you know, yeah.
Okay.
Hanach is twice as old as that guy, and he's still got true strong arm and shoulder and collarbone and all that stuff. And Schwanzenstock.
For those who don't know, the lovely Tracy Cortez was a guest on our show, as was Brian. Brian kind of came along with it because he's smart. He didn't want Renato alone with his girl. So episode, I want to say maybe it's 33 or so. We had Tracy on before her return to action fight in Phoenix. So go back and look at that one. It was really, really fun. We had a lot of fun with her. And Brian's in it a lot too. They're actually an adorable couple. I don't know why you want to break. I mean, I do know why you want to break them up. You just don't want people to have nice things, I guess. But like,
they can get back together after I'm finished.
They can get back together after you're finished. Okay. I hear you. I will say this, though. One thing about it, I do feel a little bit bad for, and then maybe it's a weird way to say it, but I feel bad for, but like Yair has been in a few controversial, bizarre things. And I feel it's unfortunate for such a good fighter to kind of have these tainted, weird things, because I feel like people negatively associate him with things and it's not his fault. They're just totally random.
Like some kind of curse on him, like voodoo, Mexican voodoo. You ever see the movie? No,
it's like a Yucatan curse or something.
Well, have you seen? A lot of people never seen this, and I just recently saw it. And I slept on this one. Have you seen that fucking Will Ferrell movie that's all 100% in Spanish?
I almost watched it the other day. I haven't seen it yet. I almost watched it the other day.
it's worth watching, especially if you can speak a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah, I totally can.
So
Yo puedo.
I think it's a must see. I think it's the most slept on, just because people was like, "What is this?" And I think it's because it didn't do too much business, because people didn't want to watch a movie in Spanish. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the average Will Ferrell fan don't want to sit there and watch a movie in Spanish. Huh?
Yes, you are a little frozen, but I can still hear you. I just want to let you know I'll let you out and let you back in. But yes, the average Will Ferrell fan, if we're generalizing, yes, probably doesn't want to read subtitles and or see a movie in Spanish.
Hey, you should try to switch to 5G off the
internet. Switch that. That actually, we do that at work sometimes when the internet isn't working. Yeah, do that. I'll take him out. A little, behind the scenes info for you guys if you wanted the. A few weeks back, before Glover was going to Singapore, we were trying to interview him for UFC Live. And oh my God, I felt so bad. We had to do this thing over and over and over. And we'd start and then we'd go and then it would stop. And then he would freeze. And then they were going back and forth telling him like, yeah, okay, is it on the Wi-Fi? Take it off the Wi-Fi. Put it on the thing. Don't put it on the thing. Da, 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 da. And we went back and forth and we would keep going and we would get through and we keep going and then almost get all the way through. It would, whatever happened, we had to start over anyway. It was a real nightmare. And I felt really bad for Glover because he's so patient and such a sweet guy. And woo, we were murdering him with that, trying to get that internet going. Yeah. Cricket is on one tonight. Yeah, Glover versus GD2. I hope we see it because I think we need to see it. That was such an incredible fight, and probably to nobody's surprise, we're pro Glover here, and he was on our show as well. Giotti's actually great. I've spoken to him at work. If we could get Giotti on this show sometime, would be amazing. I don't know if the language barrier would work, but Glover was on this show right after he won the title, so you guys can go back and look at that one. It was really, really cool. Okay, so Bem-vindos, another Brazilian. Okay, that does look good. That looks better.
Oh, okay, great. Hopefully that's the fucking trick. Okay,
that looks better.
So I was saying the average Will Ferrell fan don't want to probably watch a movie in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it didn't do not a lot of business, So you didn't hear much about it. The other day I caught that one on TV and I was laughing my fucking balls off because there's some stuff in there and it have to do with, I don't want to ruin anything, but it have to do with like a panther and like some spiritual shit and some crazy stuffs. Spooky.
He's got a thing with panthers because isn't Sex Panther the name of the cologne in Anchorman? Yeah. He's got a thing about panthers.
It might be a jaguar or something, but it's like one of these things that have to do with like ancient medicine and stuff like that. And there's like a spirit and almost like Native American type shit. And I think maybe El Panchera was fall victim to somebody putting a heebie-jeebies on that one.
Seriously.
It
sucks. I know people are talking maybe him versus Josh Emmett could be cool.
Yeah. I would like that. I would like that to see who get to fight the big boy.
Yep.
The boss.
The Volk.
Yeah, the Volk. Yeah. We should get him on here too.
The Volk. So the other night, I'm trying to think what else. Dude, did you? And then we will look ahead to the England thing, but Matt Schnell and that comeback. I didn't see every fight the other day, but Matt Schnell, Danger Schnell, he looked like he was gonna, he was losing, and then he turned it around. But my point was not even so much about the fight, and I was gonna send this to you, and I don't know if people have seen it. So Sports Center tweeted out, "What a comeback!" You know what I mean? And so there's a picture of Matt. And it's not was it Enrique Lang? Yeah, it's Enrique Lang, right? Is like laid out in front of him all bloody. And so they're like, what a comeback or whatever. And so when you look at the comments on Twitter, this is how you know when people are like, oh my God, MMA is taking over. Oh my God, MMA is the biggest thing in the world. You're like, no, baby girl. MMA is still kind of a niche sport. Like we are definitely growing, but we are still a niche sport because when you look at the replies to Sports Center's tweet about Matt, they're like, oh dear Jesus, like is somebody dead? Is that? And then there's all these people going, that's not a sport. That's not a sport. That's almost murder. That's not a sport. That's not a sport. And it is kind of crazy. And it actually kind of made me sad because I know how cool Matt is. I've known him since tough. Like, I know how hard this kid works. I know he's had like fights that fell out on the scale. Like, he's had a rough go of it. What a comeback. Amazing. And then for people to crap on it and say not a sport, like that kind of hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. And the same people watch football where dudes is like just left with nothing, no brains left, and CTE and fucking spinal, and and arthritis, and bursitis. But it's hard. I understand how it looked to someone who just don't know shit about it. I understand it looked gruesome, and it's just a function of they don't understand. And I can't say that I don't get how someone could think that. I know that they completely wrong, but I think I always try to, whenever, like, if I have a female who happen to be over when I'm watching the stuff, and a lot of the girls I know watch the shit too, but sometimes
isn't that where you pick them all up at jiu-jitsu class?
Oh, no. That's like a shooting crab in a barrel. Or that's like getting crabs from a barrel.
from Cracker Barrel.
Either way, it's as easy as getting crab. But so I try to get a little more challenge than that. But when sometimes I have that one at the house, and then they see a bloody stuff like that, they feel horrible, like they're watching an accident, or they're watching a murder, or like a mugging or whatever. And I try to remind the young lady that I could understand if it was like you're watching bum fights or something like that, where these guys is like, it's a sad situation, but you got to remember, these guys love this sport that is so hard. You have to love this sport in order to have a career in that one. So these guys love this sport, and they wouldn't want, it's like almost like they have to do it,
Of course.
So you have to look at it that way. And you also look, they're professionals, and they're not looking at it the way you're looking at it. So you have to remember, these guys it's not gladiator times where they're being forced in there, as a punishment to fight, to get eaten by the lions or something. This is professionals,
It's true.
And they look gruesome, but to them, they don't think of it that way. So I try to, to change their perspective on that one.
It's true. Well, and like you say, sorry, I just realized my computer was not plugged in. Let me plug that in. That they say you don't play fighting.
Yeah, you can.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Look she played that one, and he played himself.
Right. Hey. Okay. Well, that's not okay.
Well, okay. I'd never have general watch, but for $5, I would say, my brother, that you should have it done by a professional. Maybe you can burn it with a lighter if you're hard up for money. Maybe you can try the. Uh-oh. What happened?
Hi, I'm back. I hit the wrong button. I don't know. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, I thought I was gone for a sec. And I was
I did something and hit the wrong button, and I was gone for a second. Sorry. But yeah, you go see a professional, please. Please see a professional.
You know what? You can also put, you know what I would recommend? Go to Dr. Shaw and get a corn removers and try that one. Put that on your schwanz and see if it can burn away some of the watch. You have to kiss a lot of frog. Wait, what is it? You gotta get a lot of watch before you get a prince or whatever.
I also, Renato, before you were here, told our viewers about last week's guest, just quickly touching on the Michelle Watterson Gomez, that she was a lovely guest. She really was up against it. Amanda Lemos, I think, was like the biggest favorite on the card, and Michelle gave it a tough go. But ended up.
She was up against it in the interview too. Oh God, I almost put it against her.
I know you wanted to put it against.
I was gonna put it up against her. Well, but first of all, okay, so that's 125 or 115.
No, the 115. It's
a shame that there's nothing less than that.
Atom weights. There used to, well, in Invicta there are, 105ers.
If you look at her size, I mean, we think because she got cakes and stuff and muscles that she's a big, that she's like a sturdy. She's tiny. And when you saw her in against that girl, it's almost not fair. It's like even if she was better than fucking what's her name, Lemos.
Yeah.
The weight is gonna, negate that. Not to say though that technique, it wasn't about weight. That one technique, that was about it in jiu-jitsu. That's the jiu-jitsu version of getting caught with a punch you didn't see. And another thing I can't say because I've never been in Lemos guillotine, and some people just have a move dialed in to where you look like, oh, I know how to get out of. Some people have it just locked in like a certain way that if you get caught too quick, you're kind of fucked. But one stuff I'm curious to know why. My antidote to any fucking guillotine is to fight the hands. Okay,
that's right. Yeah.
To me, there's nothing else but that, and I didn't see an attempt at that, and I wonder why. I wonder if that was a mistake or if it was something else she worked on to get out of there. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anything that work as well as just fighting those grip,
Yeah. Well, it's tough, and overall, I do want to look ahead, but tough night for Michelle, tough night for Misha. Although I really like Lauren Murphy, and so it's like one of those things where she's such a cool girl too. And same thing, like when I was doing Tough Talk, it was the whole thing. My name is Lauren. The whole thing with Eddie Alvarez and all that, and so it sucks in that one because they're both cool chicks. They've both been around a while. They both earned it. They're both gritty. They both work hard. It was tough.
Yeah, it is a tough one, and I have to say, I did not see that coming. No.
Why? Because of the way Lauren lost to Valentina? Because everybody loses to Valentina.
Not because of, no, wasn't surprised by that. I thought that Misha Tate was going to have this renaissance. Mm-hmm. I always felt, no disrespect to Lauren Murphy, I always thought that Misha was just in a different echelon, in a different category.
Yeah.
I ate crow on that one because I couldn't imagine that it would be a shutout like that. It was basically a shutout. And if you told me it could have been the other way like that, I would have said, yeah, that's possible. The way it happened, I said impossible. And shows how much, until you see the fight, you don't fucking know. Yeah. And I think there's something about Lauren Murphy and I'm not trying to be rude. There's something about the way she looked. She looked like, I can't put my finger on it. Like she looked like I don't know, like she's past her prime or something like that. Like
she looks older than maybe she. I know what you're saying, and I think. And I 100%. I think what it is, honestly, in her past, she kind of lived hard for a few years.
Yeah.
So I think some of the hard living she did earlier may have kind of aged her a little bit. But she's obviously in phenomenal shape and everything, right? But she seems maybe a little older than,
like weather beaten or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she's been through, like what they say, hold hard and put away dry.
I think she's had a hard time, and I think she was lived in Alaska and stuff. I mean, I think a lot of her living wasn't necessarily spa treatment living. You know what I mean?
Well, in Alaska, you get the math, they had the best math, and then also wind burn.
Oh Jesus! But I know what you're saying, and I'm trying to be respectful to. But I do know what you're saying. I think it's that. Yeah, I think she just lived a little hard when she was younger.
So in my mind, when I put the two of them next to each other, I feel like one of them is past her prime, headed to retire, just based on looks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But
and then
that's
what?
not.
And it's just a trick my mind is playing on me, because everybody always underestimate Lauren Murph, and she's always deliver, except for, Valentina's gonna fuck up anybody. But it's almost like some of the other people, like we were saying about Volkanovski, because of his stature. It's like you don't want to for some reason, you don't want to give him that pound for pound. Just somehow you think, well, he's this little, but
Yeah.
he just fucks up everybody, So you have to respect. You got to put some respect to the name.
Yeah, Blaze is saying Misha didn't do too much pretty good. I mean, I know, I think the people were kind of commenting that she seemed a little slower. I mean, the thing about it is father time waits for no man or woman. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't.
Except for Yonko Hanach.
Except for me.
Oh God! When is a hip Van Winkle gonna come and take away my?
Oh yeah, I mean, and by the way, folks, this is all natural. There's no needles or anything here, because I'm scared. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But no, I mean, so I don't know what Misha's going to do. It's tough, because I know, like you were saying, she wanted to have a renaissance. And at 35, losing to Ketlin, like, Ketlin's a big girl, and that's a big, strong girl, And so I understood the attempt to move down to flyweight, and maybe it's one of those things where if it had just come a little sooner, and she's had a couple. She works so hard. It's just, I don't know, man. And the thing about it is like you were saying, they actually are around the same age, right? So if anything, everybody's so much younger now too. Misha's only going to always be the veteran versus a young upstart now.
One thing before I forget, and I've been meaning to talk about this, I gotta put this out there. I think I think Fistivities in general gotta put some respect on that Jacoby kid's name.
Dustin Jacoby is good. Okay.
Because I always fucking forget that kid follow me, and he follows you too.
Well, I just saw him last week at work, because he was with Mark Montoya, because they were with who won, last weekend when we were, where were we? I don't know, in Vegas. So I was on the bus to the airport with Dustin and Mark, and yeah, we could get Dustin on sometime. He's cool.
Yeah, we should put some respect to his name.
I'm down.
One of the stuffs I noticed is, like, every fucking time he win, but before the fight, I forget that he's in my orbit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that he's good. And then I go, oh yeah, that kid, he did good. And then the next time he fight, I forget that we have a connection. And then the same thing happened. And this time I'm like, you know what? This kid, nobody's talking to enough about this kid, because he's quietly building a record. He's quietly sneaking up, not too fucking shabby. And I would like to give him some shine and find out a little more about this kid.
Agreed. Well, I maybe know a little more about him, or maybe he's been on my radar more because of Anthony, our buddy Lionheart, light-skinned heart, working with light-skinned heart, because Dustin is a Montoya guy. And so I first heard, like, when Jacoby, like, I feel like he came in on a short notice fight. I remember working, like, I feel like I've worked almost every single one of his fights except this past weekend. And so I've seen him a lot, and I've worked a lot of his fights, and he's a tough dude, and he's a big, tall dude too. Like I said, I rode to the airport with him and Mark, and I'm like, he's got long ass legs, a great kickboxer. And you're right. We could get Dustin on at some point. That would probably be pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
I think that would be nice.
Good idea, Renato. Good idea.
I need to say this a couple times, and I keep forgetting about the kid. And this time I was like, fuck that. I gotta put a shout out to this kid.
Yeah. And before we move along, because I want to reset here, but there's a donation here saying that you could educate a few of the strawweights.
Wow,
if they spent time in your rubber guard.
But
I didn't think you used rubber guard. I thought you were.
I use no rubber guard. Okay, right. That's
not a good idea.
That's my.
You're gonna get the monkey pox, Renato.
We're gonna do monkey business first. The poxes come later. Chicken head pox, I get. Well, God, but I'm gonna give that one
chicken head pox.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one for free. The first one for free, and they get a taste of that. And then I'm gonna mainly work on that one's the strawweight. I'm gonna mainly work deep full guard, porra. And then we're gonna go from there. No pressure.
I don't want to dignify. I guess there's so many. I'm not going to dignify it with discussing various jiu-jitsu moves and positions. But there, you know about the strawweight in every fight, what happens in a strawweight fight. Like, it's literally a joke. And I don't know because I missed Jessica's fight, Penne, but we used to text each other all the time. We're like, strawweight. Like, almost every strawweight fight ends up with a north-south. Like, almost every, like, without fail, almost every strawweight fight ends up with that. And like we would joke with each other and be like, well, here it is. Like it happens every time. Yeah. There's always this, there just is.
Well, that's a 69, porra. And they gotta learn that it's best to be on top in that situation, because if you're in a 69 with your uncle Hanach.
Dude, I said I didn't want to talk.
Well, that's you brought it up. Okay, so if you're in a 16, if you're in a north southeast,
I'll bring it up for sure. But I'm
with your uncle, if you're in a northeast southeast with your uncle Hanach and I'm on chop, you're gonna get no hand choked out. You're not gonna even know what you did. So you better use your feet to chop onto the mat or something, because you're gonna go poof, poof, pop. Or no, they say uncle. Oh,
oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god.
They're gonna be like Karyn Bryant. Okay. So it's not. You better believe it with that music there. They say music gonna play. Like they get my hand haze.
Oh god. I'm sorry. That is just funny to me.
It's funny to me.
Oh god.
We'll agree.
Okay. Oh god. Oh jeez Louise, that's funny. That's some funny stuff. Hey. Okay. Hey, thank you, Jay Renard. Now I want to say everything.
Based on age. I never heard that. You know what?
That's good though. I've never heard that either. But that he's not wrong, or he or she or they are not wrong.
I can't believe I never heard that, and I really can't believe I never thought of that.
Exactly. It's so good.
Don't age. Well, I'm stealing that one.
Yeah.
Henceforth, I never remember anybody, whatever that person's name is. Forget it. No credit to you. Don't age.
Oh, that's so true. Okay, so Renato, we do want to look ahead to the fights this weekend. We have UFC London. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes is the main event. We have a cheaty for the main event, so we could talk about some of these fights coming up, and I can pull up the card here. But like, we also have Patty the Batty coming up against Jordan Levitt. We've got Molly McGann on the card again. Paul Craig is on the card against Vulcan. Like,
who is the meatball fight?
The Meatball's fighting. Hold on, let me pull it up again because it's funny. I've forgotten. I'm running around. I'm like a crazy person because I'm leaving. Obviously I'm leaving I'm leaving tomorrow night, and so I'm just like sitting here busy, and I'm gonna be like writing my scripts on the plane and everything. But Miss Molly is hold on, I thought they had the whole. Oh, sorry, I thought I had the whole fight card here. I forget. UFC London. She's fighting. Why am I blanking? Somebody probably knows.
You're supposed to be the.
But in the meantime, I was telling them, about your
Patty depression kid.
Yeah, because so Patty, and it's funny because Patty's fighting Jordan Levitt, and he's one of those guys where, he's kind of an interesting person. He does the twerking and the splits and everything.
Now listen, Porha. Wow.
Molly's fighting Hannah Goldie.
I know who that is, but I can't even think of who is that one. Oh, caralho. Hannah Goldie. Oh, I remember Hannah Goldie. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going into hostile territory now. If Boha, if that kid, what's his name again, who's fighting Patty, the fucking Patty?
Jordan Levitt, who's fighting Patty. Yeah, Jordan.
Listen, if Joseph Gordon-Levitt do that twerking in there, if he beat Patty and then do the twerking, he might not ever make it back home from there.
Extra security on the way out from Security Steve and Tiny and those guys. I don't think that would go over too well.
I don't know what is this guy's sexuality.
He's married. I even believe he's got a kid and stuff.
For him. Okay. Hey, fair enough. Now, I don't got a problem with that, but I thought that he might be the first openly gay UFC fighter. That was the vibe I was getting from that one. And and to his credit, now this fuck up everything. Well, don't fuck up everything.
I'm pretty sure he's married. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe he's married to a man's.
Let me look at his IG. I'm pretty sure. I thought, like I said, I could be mistaken. I thought he might be married with a kid, but I could totally be wrong.
Listen, honey, child. He might be married. Either way, okay? If he is, and I don't know what is the guy's sexuality, but if he's gay and he's doing that twerking stuff, I think it's delicious because it get under people's skin, you know?
Yeah, I think this is a picture of him and his baby.
Oh, caralho. That baby's
the Monkey King. I think that's his baby.
Well, he was doing some monkey business to have that baby. That baby.
Speaking of the monkey business, exactly.
Like, what's his name? That baby looked like Danny Bonaduce.
Oh my God, Danny
Bonaduce. But anyway, so in my caralho, I just always laugh at that because I just think what a double whammy it is to be beat by a guy like that. Who is kind
of like that he leans into it too. Yeah, and he does the
feminine and do that stuff. It's like, oh, it's a double whammy, and I love it. I'm here for that one. Except, I'd be hard pressed to go against me for scouts.
How do you think his boxing's gonna look?
His fucking boxing is gonna look fucking crisp. His fucking Chris Williams boxing kit. Fucking Pizza Express. He better eat the Pizza Express kit.
So I already know that I'm getting Molly and Patty at the desk with me. How might that go?
I like that. You gotta put in a good word for the fucking Scouts, Lot and Gene. Tell them send to them my love. Hopefully they're in good spirits, you know.
Yeah, on the on UFC Live and on the pre-show, I've already got my scripts, and I've got my formats to write my scripts. And they came on the post show with me last time together, and it was really great. But should I ask Patty about the Pizza Express?
The Pizza Express, yeah. Say, what is fucking Pizza Express? We don't got that out in the States. Ask him about that. He likes to get chunky in between fight. What was I gonna say? That meatball. No, Patty. What the fuck I was gonna say about that?
Well, the Scousers, because unfortunately, Darren Till got injured. We were gonna have 3 Scousers on the card.
I heard he's snake bit with that shit too. Ugh. He can't seem to get a break either. Anyway, on to the next.
Well, I was just asking about the boxing. Okay, somebody is Hannah Goldie a result of one of Mike Goldberg's adventures on the Vegas Strip in the Zuffa days?
I wouldn't be shocked.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so here you go. Patty with the 80.
He got fuck. Oh, this is what I was gonna say about Patty. I think he have a bright future. He have all the intangibles, the kind of stuff that you just can't teach. Some of the stuff he's got, in terms of confidence and just, he just have the shine, One thing I would love to see as a Patty fan is to see him stop taking hard punches, I want to see that. I think that's going to bite him in the fucking ass if he don't square that away, because he's been getting away with that. One of these days, one of these people gonna hit him too fucking hard, you know. And I know fucking scousers don't get knocked out, you know, but fuck, it's too much, you know. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
I 100% agree with you. I worry when people keep too much faith in their chin.
Yeah.
And being able to take, and again, no disrespect or whatever, being able to take some Cage Warriors punches, being able to take some, you know, whatever on the come up while you're still young. Good for you. I respect that. It's a little different now.
And that shit like a health meter, like in fucking.
Exactly. It's going to go down. And because I remember having this conversation a long time ago with the great Brian Stan, who I say all the time, I cannot wait to get till I get to vote for him for president one day. But Brian Stan.
And then you're going to be like, oh, God, are you?
Wait.
Until you see his platform.
Oh, well, I know,
but. You're going to be like, oh, fuck.
I worked with Brian a lot. I know he's conservative more so than me, but I trust Brian. Like, at least I trust him. Like, I trust him. I know he is a man of honor. I know Brian is a man of morals and good standing. Like, I trust Brian. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. We used to joke at work. Like, when we would be at work, we'd be like, okay, yeah, not for nothing. But if anything goes down, we just look at him and we're like, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like,
I like Brian too as a person. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I remember a very long time ago, this is, you know, and now we know people spar less and less and less, but Brian was one of the first people I remember talking to about that. He was like, you cannot, like, you can't keep taking punches like that. Like, your chin is not, it is a finite element. It is not okay to sit there and think you can have that forever. You won't, you know. And like, I remember he was really upset by people who thought that, well, I'll just play defense like this, you know.
I mean, and I know he's not trying to get, but I just I see a pattern with him taking like a hard fucking shot, almost like Tony Ferguson, you know, like except he have been weathering the storm, you know, but you know, maybe he's a bad example because he never gets just put the lights out, but you know, you just don't want to be known for being put on skates and then coming back. You know, it's like, I think that can be hammered. I think he needs to really take that serious, you know. And I think that if he does, sky's the limit for this kid, you know. But I just see at the upper echelon when he starts fighting the guys that's in the rarefied air up there, you have some punchers that have supernatural punching power that is gonna really fuck you up if you take that for granted, you know.
Well, I could not agree more. And that was the whole thing. If I remember correctly, on the last fight, he actually did get rocked.
Yeah. I mean, and even the first fight in the UFC for him.
Right. I worked that one too at Apex. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's fantastic, but I'm just saying, you know, it's not I don't love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Patty's record is 18-3-0. Jordan's is 10-1. So Patty is 5'10", Jordan's 5'9". You know, so I mean, that's the thing. You know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Molly obviously has a good one. So I don't know what you think about the main event. Do you want to see Chidi's choice first and then get your take, or give your take and then say Chidi's choice?
I can't go against Aspinall until proven Hong. To me, he's like in the category. I mean, maybe not quite, but I use him as an example a lot. Everybody said John Jones. They're like, wait till he sees this person. Wait till he faces this person. Right. And then after a while, Conor McGregor was like that for like the first 5-6 fights. It was like, and I was like, I'm not willing to bet against this kid because you're saying wait till he get to here, but until I see the evidence that someone gonna beat this guy, so Aspinall is in that category for me. I couldn't imagine betting against him, even though he's going against a tough chest for him, you know. But I just don't see maybe the hustling advantage for Curtis. Fine, but yeah, I couldn't see myself betting against Aspinall in this one.
Well, I agree with you so much about who he is and his ability, and the sky is the limit. And yeah, I from feet. I guess the first time I met him was it on Fight Island or something. I've worked almost all of his fights, I think, or maybe even all of them. So I feel like it's been a real treat. And I agree with you. Like as soon as you see him, as soon as you meet him, you notice there's something different. Same thing like you were saying about Patty. Like Patty has all the intangibles of the charm and the chattiness and the great face, that like he's a unique character, right? Like Patty,
the boldness, the exuberance.
Yeah, he's Patty. All of it. I love it so much. So Tom, same thing. Like, while he is not a character like Patty, everything about him speaks to me as a champion, and just the way he carries himself, his team, everything about it. So I 100% agree with you. It'll be interesting to see what happens though, because Curtis is that guy. He is big. He's strong. I don't know if the last time you saw Curtis's fight, like if you saw the thighs on that man, geez, like, he's a beast. He's a machine. Like he can wrestle like crazy. He can also, training at altitude. He's not going to get tired. All this. It's just hard for me personally to also bet against Aspinall in the O2 after I saw the last one too. And his sense of ownership and his sense of like not rushing. He actually, because we all knew he was going to be a champion. And he's the one who's like, no, but I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to rush to the top. He's doing everything right, and I like him. Everything about him is very admirable. The wrestling front, it's going to be interesting for this camp. I did see a lot that Paul went down to train with Tom this time, Craig. So if you figure that's great for both of them, right? Because Tom will get the guy with the submission record in the light heavyweight. Like I think he's got either the most or he's tied for a third. I don't know, whatever. He's obviously a record setter for triangles in the UFC and all this stuff. To have a big person who can put Tom in some uncomfortable positions is probably going to be really valuable for him. And then vice versa, to have somebody with Tom striking and all that with Paul when he's about to fight Volkan. I think that's great. So I'm really curious to see how both of them approach, they like do.
In Curtis, he's got that deadly combo of just such good hustling, but with like atomic knockout power that it's a pain in the ass for anybody to deal with, no matter how good you are, because you have to address the checkdowns. You can't just not. And then when you're doing that, it's hard to stay away from some of those fucking haymaker. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a deadly combination, It is. But that's why it's great. That's why we're going to see that one. So I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Curtis can pull it out, but I feel like if Aspinall can do this, I feel like this is his big chest. This is like, is this kid as good as we really think he is?
Right.
If he can dispose of Kirch.
Well, he could. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is Tom could come out and blast him. Like it could totally happen. He totally could. So now, Lucky Coast is saying Aspinall's money.
I'm curious. What kind of? I know he's British or whatever, but what's his ethnicity like? What kind of name is Aspinall?
I don't know. I just assumed they were all just.
He looked like a Puerto Rican or something.
Or he looks. Maybe it's Portuguese. To me, he looks like.
He looked like he's from Malta.
Or one of the, because he is darker complected. Yeah, he's like that. Got the
curly hair. He looking Puerto Rican or Jewish.
I had a friend from Malta. His last name was Borg, though. Borg, like the Borg in Star Trek.
He's part of the Borg collection. He don't come from Switzerland. He comes from that square spaceship or whatever.
I know. Resistance is futile. You're talking to a big old trekker. Like I'm a total dork.
Well,
yes, D&D. Paul Craig versus Light Skinned Heart. That actually might happen. Anthony and Paul have both talked about that. And that is a fight that almost kind of got made before. But here's the thing, guys, Gustafsson is coming back too. And remember, Paul was supposed to fight Gustafsson for a minute, like last year. And then Gus, because he was going to come down to 205. And then Gus had to drop out of it. So then Paul, he got like put on the shelf for a while. But anyway, Gustafsson is on this card too, which is pretty great.
Well,
like I'm so excited to see him back. I love him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love him. He's awesome.
No, but I didn't know he was back. Like, first of all, I didn't know he was back. And who the fuck is fighting?
He's fighting Krylov. So he is fighting at 205. That's the thing, though, is that he and Paul were supposed to fight a year ago.
That dude that's Russian, but he fight out of Canada.
Yeah, Nikita Krylov.
Oh.
Well, he's Ukrainian, actually.
Or whatever. He's Ukrainian, but he fight out of Canada.
He's Ukrainian. Yeah.
No, that's not who I was thinking of. Who's the blonde guy that's heel chuff and have like a Russian last name, but he fight out of fucking Canada?
Tanner Boser? No, not.
Tanner Boser?
Tanner Boser. I don't know. Okay. A
He's
light
like
heavyweight?
blonde.
It's not Iwan. Iwan Kudalaba moved to Vegas.
No, not Kuchilab. Not Hoochie Coochie.
Hoochie Coochie Lab.
He said, I can't remember.
Anyway, well, this guy is saying that it's an Anglo-Saxon name, that Aspinall and everything. But anyway,
you don't know what you're talking about. Anglo-Saxon.
Anyway, but yeah, Gustafson's back.
Kenny is Anglo-Saxon.
Yes. I'm excited. Listen, so it's Blades Aspinall for the main event. Obviously, Hermanson versus Chris Curtis, Action Man. Because unfortunately, Darren. Yeah, so Action Man stepped in for Darren Till.
He's back in that quick. Oh yeah, because he just did. Wow, the Action Man is a scary individual looking. Well, he's scary looking, but then when he opened his mouth, he just seemed like a nice, sweet, friendly guy. Yeah. His voice. He looked like he should be fighting in like those Kimbo Slicey fights, but then when he talks, he sounds like he goes to. He sounds like he goes to like Oregon State or something like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it goes Hermanson Curtis is the co-main. Then there's Patty, versus Jordan, Nikita Krylov versus Alexander Gustafsson, Molly McCann versus Hannah Goldie, and Paul Craig versus Volkan Oezdemir.
Oh, that's that's an intriguing.
It's like main card. Yeah, that's just the main card. So it's a good ass card.
Craig versus Oezdemir. That's going to be something. And Vulcan, not unlike from the Borg, your friend Borg, they're both from Star Trek.
Yes, the Vulcan, exactly. And also, I mean, because back in the day, Vulcan was all about like those leg kicks and all this stuff. And
the customer.
Well, and if he knows Paul's going to try to take him down, obviously, because Paul's a submission guy, so he's going to start trying to chop out the shoot. So
Paul is one of those guys that always looks so vulnerable in his fights. Like, I always think like, oh, you're going to get knocked out. And then somehow he just fucking do it. But I always feel on the feature, it looked like, oh, don't do. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm rooting for him, if he's going against someone, that I don't like or don't know or something like that, watch out, Paul. He looked like, oh, but he somehow he pulled it out. He's a tough guy.
He's tough. Well, the thing about him too is, because when it's like anybody when they start in one discipline and they're great in one, the other one always seems weaker.
I mean, look, he don't look like K1 kickboxing over here. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
He looked like what he wants to do. He's one of those guys. He's kind of a last of a dying breed. It's like a guy who does one stuff really fucking well. Of course, he's good enough on the feet,
Well, I was gonna say because he and Shogun, he actually I think outstruck Shogun that time. Like in there, I mean, and he got a TKO over Shogun in the rematch.
Listen. I don't want to take nothing away from him, but at the highest level, his striking don't match up with the highest level strikers in his weight class. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why Anthony wants to fight him because Anthony thinks he could light him up.
His jiu-jitsu is just fucking world class, But that's why I'm root for him. I'm like, I want him to get into his jiu-jitsu. But sometimes I'm like, oh, porra, careful.
Almost TKO'd Paul Craig is my favorite mythical MMA character. Like almost TKO'd Paul Craig, and like the parentheses should go around. Almost like it is actually funny. It's like sea level Kane, right? It's like it's turning into one of those things.
Crazy.
Because honestly, I was there. Obviously, I worked the last one in London, and so he was there against. It wasn't Ankalaev, or maybe it was a Krylov or whatever. And like you said, he looks like he's almost gonna lose, and then you're like, oh shoot, there it is. Like it's crazy,
And he's tough. He have a lot of heart. He goes into the fire. And it's just dangerous. You see, it's just to be in that position where you're trying to implement your jiu-jitsu against guys that's winging shit at your fucking head. I mean, it's just you're in there, you're like, whoa, knowing what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then
that's
dangerous because if you hell bent on just stop, you think he's just gonna do jiu-jitsu, then sometimes guys can knock you the fuck out because of that too, you know? Because you don't see it coming in, like all of a sudden a guy throw up a head kick. It's almost like Derek Lewis throwing a head kick, and you wasn't thinking about that, and you're going, oh, wait, not that. It's true. It happened that way, true.
No, I agree with you. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Okay, so let's check out what Chidi said about this. Our Tuesday Night Festivities mascot, folks. Chidi does
animal before, like for a couple days.
Did I do what?
Do you starve that poor animal for like a couple days?
No. I don't starve him. We've changed some of the things about it, and we've randomized things. So, we needed to sort of do a little bit of a few of these cheaty things to get like a control group of understanding what his motivations are and what he does. I've come to the understanding now, the way we've randomized the process of this, Chidi picks winners now, because the other day, Chidi had picked Viziv. I thought he was picking the losers. He had picked Viziv. Viziv won. And then the other day he actually picked Rodriguez. And I thought, because we used to think he was picking losers, and it turns out too, he actually picks winners now. So with that said, here is Chidi's choice for Blades versus Aspinall. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chidi's Choice. Today, Chidi, the Tuesday Night Festivities mascot, is choosing between Curtis Blades and Tom Aspinall. This is the UFC London main event. So what we do here is we randomly ball up the names. So then we take these, we kind of show them to Chidi here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them down in front of some lettuce. Put the lettuce closer now, too. And now Chidi is going to make his pick. So let's go, Chidimus. Whichever one he picks will win. So we've decided, we've figured it out. Chidi actually picks winners now. So here we go. Chidi has decided. The winner will be Curtis Blades. The Londoners aren't going to like that too much, but we shall see if that happens. Chidi has chosen, aggressively actually. Thanks, Chidi.
Are you confident enough to put money on on this prediction?
Here's the thing. I don't want to be in the O2 arena and have Aspinall lose. Meanwhile, Curtis is a guy we've invited on this show before. I got no problems with Curtis Blades.
Wait, the key word is invited.
You're right. He didn't show. I bet Aspinall would show.
It would, true.
If we could work out the time difference.
It's too good for this show, apparently.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I think I want Chidi to be wrong, but I don't know.
I'm gonna tell Curtis.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It would be a buzz.
Curtis has gotten the shaft a lot, right? Like, so there's a part of me that, like, wants good things for Curtis Blades, because Curtis Blades is one of those guys that can easily get overlooked, can easily get passed over, can easily so there's a big part of me that wants Curtis to, get the things that are due to him that he's earned and that kind of stuff. That said,
it's kind of a win-win. I mean, I don't dislike either of these guys. You know what I mean? I like both of them. The only thing I like is we don't know where his ceiling is. I think, I feel like
it's exciting to see where he might go.
I feel like he's better every time we see him, and I feel like he has the potential to be like superstar fighter. Whereas Curtis, he's clearly in the he's clearly top shelf. But I don't know that we haven't seen like all his tricks yet. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we might have seen the ceiling for him. I don't know. But Aspinall is like, I'm kind of excited to see like how good this kid could be. But if Curtis win, then fucking good for him. You know what I mean? Like that just means he deserved that one. So we'll see. We'll see.
And also, to be honest, Aspinall can weather the loss better at this stage of his career. a loss to Curtis Blades would not be a bad thing. Like, it wouldn't really set him back much. There is still so much great will toward him. If let's say if he does get out wrestled, he'll be like, okay, I still need to work on my wrestling more. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much. Curtis, I feel, is probably feeling, again, for those things that I just expressed, that like he's got to win because, he's got to keep proving his point type thing, where Tom probably feels a little bit more of I got time here. I've got time. I'm already told everybody I'm not in a hurry to get to the title. Let me, you know what I mean? Yeah,
we shall see who's the better.
Who's the better? Be exciting. It's going to be exciting. But yeah. Somebody says, wait, the end. Somebody, what was the beard eating? So Brittany, Chidi was eating arugula. He really likes arugula. And we get the one from Trader Joe's that says the Wild Rocket salad, not just like the arugula that they have. Like, I get the Wild Rocket one, and he totally loves it. And no, I don't put like a cricket under one side, because there was, and it's all random. He does tend to go to the right. That's why I started to try to put the lettuce closer to each other now, because like he just kind of tends to go to the right. And so I want to try to make it as random as possible. So now I put the lettuce much closer to each other. It's what?
I got an idea for the next Chimey.
What's your idea?
Start him in the middle. I mean, like not one side or the other, but turn completely around so his tail is facing that one, and then have him turn around on his own.
That might work. We could try that, because if he smells the lettuce, he should turn around to go get it. We could try that.
That's because
we just put him down. And we put him down in the middle, but yeah, maybe we could try and turn around backwards.
Because then he's just like, he might turn one way or the other instead of his normal default. Maybe his muscle memory to go height, But if discombobulate, then his natural powers of prestidigitation or whatever, ESP or whatever you call it.
Right.
Maybe the spirit can kick in and he can be guided by
well, it's a great idea, and it's definitely worth trying. It's definitely worth trying. So yeah, hold on a second. I need to tell the kiddo something. Okay, so the out of all the UFC London, I think it is going to be a great card. I'm very much looking forward to that. So yeah, going there tomorrow. And on, like I said, we're doing we will have UFC Live. Patty and Molly are going to be at the desk with us for one or two of those things or something. But also, this is fun when we go to London, and a lot of these shows now and internationally, and as you've seen, even just in Long Island, it's about like we're going back to doing the fun weigh-ins. So it's like at the ceremonial weigh-in. So the guys, like we get them right there. Our desk is set up right by the stage. Everybody's coming out. We talk over, when the fighters are walking out. It's so much more fun that way. So it's really great to be back out on the road. I'm really excited. Yeah, that one monkey. I'm very excited to get
all the Pizza Express you can fucking enjoy
all the way. Yeah, is that all the way? Yeah, exactly. All the Pizza Express. Chris. So what is it? It's Chris Williams.
Chris Williams.
Chris Williams.
Chris Williams.
Chris Williams.
That's Chris Williams. You had that fucking accent heel chuff. You remember Paul Kelly's Kelly or Tally? Paul Kelly's Kelly?
Paul Kelly? The fighter Paul Kelly?
Yeah, that was his name. He had like a bald head, and he was
I remember
like
Paul Kelly.
Me hunches and me fucking elbows. I mean, he was very deep fucking. Like from the street, scousy, scouts.
Because Molly, I sit around with Molly, and because I love that girl, and so we sit around, we hang out a lot. Whenever I'm over there, when I see her as much as I can. I don't think Molly. I think I understand Molly. Maybe I think Patty's is even thicker than Molly's.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe I could be wrong. I want to say that it feel like Molly. And I could be just talking out of my ass. I feel like Molly comes from like a worse neighborhood or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's not a diss. I'm saying she seemed more gully, more like almost like they have the Scouse accent, but I feel like hers maybe she's from the project and he's from like maybe a thing that at least got like a little bit of a loan in the front or something. I don't know. That's just my intuition or whatever, but I could be completely off fucking base.
I don't know, but Maul, man, after she landed that spinning elbow last time, woo!
I get a huge touch of the earth taste from Molly Meatball.
You get a real what of the earth? Salt of the earth?
I get a touch of the earth vibe from her.
Like she's a wonderful, wonderful girl. She's people think she's from the Liverpudlian projects.
For heel, I'm probably from the council, from the fucking council, from the states, kid. From the
kid.
What is it? Fucking what do you call that one? Not Cabrini Green. Fucking Norris Green, kid. That's the fucking bad projects out there, kid. Fucking Norris Green, Purple Achi, and fucking Delhi Mob, kid. Fucking road.
Milan, I'll show you, lad. What is it?
Yeah, that's your boy, Paul fucking Craig. That's your Paul Craig. Yeah, how many Scousers is on this one? We got a Molly.
So there's a few, right? So there's Maul and Patty. Like I said, Darren was supposed to be on it.
Yeah, but he might be
Nathaniel Wood. But Nathaniel Wood he's from the good part of town. Nathaniel Wood, he's such a cute kid. I really like this guy. And he's like, to me, he's the one who looks like he could be an extra in Peaky Blinders. Like Nathaniel Wood, when you see Nathaniel Wood, his IG, here, let me show you. He literally is straight out of Peaky Blinders, which by the way, I started to type in Peaky Blinders instead of Nathaniel. But I wanted to ask anybody if they've been reading, if they've been watching, because I like Peaky Blinders so much, and I saw that there were new episodes, speaking of all this English stuff, and I hadn't watched the new episodes yet. I don't know if anybody has, like, are they good or what, but Peaky Blinders is...
But I like that one. I just got to get back into it. Because I do this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Hold on. I was going to just show you all right, well, I'm trying to find the best one because so this is Nathaniel.
Oh, okay, but look at that. Okay,
he's straight out of Peaky Blinders. He's great. So on Instagram, he's the Prospect MMA. I really like this kid. I really like him.
Well, who's he fighting?
Let's see. What is it?
Well, he's from like
it's English, yeah. So he's fighting. He's English, fighting Charles Rosa.
Is he Scouse?
I don't know if he's Scouse. So that's the thing, because Nathaniel, it says he is from it says UK. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think he's Scouse. I think whenever I speak to him, I think he's a little bit more proper.
Or like cheerio doing.
I don't know. It's just a general English accent. I don't think he's Scouse.
Okay.
I don't think he's Scouse. But Nathaniel is really good.
It says fucking Liverpool on there. Right. One person is Scouse for sure.
Right. Macwan's not English. He's Norwegian, Mr. Finland rather, Finnish. Macwan's on the card. Oh, Jai Herbert's English. Mohammed Mokayev is on this one. This is going to be fun.
Scousers, not just regular English.
Yeah, I think it's just the two Scousers. I think it's just
another pure card for her.
Yeah. Well, Darren would have been the one, but Darren missed out.
I can't get enough of those fucking people.
I know. Okay, so now I have a question for you, Renato Laranja. Who is your favorite James Bond?
Okay, now this is gonna upset a lot of people, okay? But I think that you gotta understand.
Wait.
Okay.
I was gonna say we should let people know Roger Moore, Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. Those are the names. So sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. The problem here now, this is an unpopular opinion, okay? I know this. But see, when I first was a kid and I was falling in love with James Bond, it was Hajimura was the bond of the chain. Okay, it took me a while to even learn that Sean Connery was ever James Bond before him. As far as I was concerned, there was only ever one fucking James Bond, and that was Hajimura. So I had to have my head around first of all, that there was ever another one. I was like, how are you gonna have another one? What are you telling me? No, to me, Hajimura is the guy, and he had that cheeky fucking shit-eating grin on his face, and he was just so much fucking fun. This guy, you know, he was the cheekiest James Bond by far.
Yeah,
he was the Mr. Steal Your Girl. He was the guy. He's a Haskell. You know, I mean, you wouldn't trust your wife, your girlfriend, nobody, your daughter. You wouldn't trust nobody with that guy, and he'll fuck anybody.
right.
You know, I love that he will fuck like some blonde chick at like the baccarat table, but then he fuck like Grace Jones. He's like, you know what I mean? Like his chase go all across the fucking board. Like Grace Jones trying to kill him, and he grabbed her wrist and is like, "Oh, caralho," you know, like check her into the fucking room.
Yeah.
This guy is something fucking else. Now, and back then, you know, Sean Connery was already becoming an older man by the time Hajimura. So I already knew of Sean Connery, but in a different category. He was like an older guy, but a cool older guy. And he remember the movie Chime Bandits? You remember he played
I used to watch it all the time as a kid. Yeah.
You remember, and he was so likable as the king in that one. And you wish that the kid could have stayed with him or whatever, you know. Now he was that to me, and I couldn't fathom him being. And my parents was like, no, he was the James Bond, and I was like, no, I don't want to believe. I was in denial. Okay, so for me now, in retrospect, if someone wanna say that Sean Connery is the ultimate James Bond, I'm not gonna argue with you because he was the original. He was the one who started the fucking whole. I would never argue with someone whose take is that he's the ultimate James Bond.
Yeah.
Similar, if you grew up and let's say Pierce Brosnan is your guy, I understand you're gonna have an affinity for Pierce Brosnan, you know, or if you're young enough to where fucking I almost said Daniel Craig is your guy. I understand that you fall in love because that's the one you first saw, you know. Just like this, if you're of a certain age and you've seen, I almost said Patrick Bateman, fucking what's his name?
Jason Bateman, who I love.
No, not fucking Jason Bateman. From American Psycho, and he's a great fucking
Christian Bale, an English actor.
Christian Bale. Now you would be hard pressed to say he's not the greatest Bond, and he have the greatest. I mean, not Bond, Batman, and have the greatest Batman movies. For my money, those is the best Batman movies. Those three. But because I'm of an age where Michael Keaton was that first Batman in the first serious Batman we got.
I like those.
He hold a special place, you know. But you know, to a people who grew up with fucking Christian Bale, you think that's stupid, you know. You'd be like, "What is that? Get that out of here," you know. So I understand it. It all depends on your taste, you know. But I mean, they're all great in their own way. George Lazenby, he only got one bite at the apple, and he was
he did.
You know, he was Australian, yeah. That's one strike against that one. Timothy Dalton, I wasn't mad at the first movie he did, the fucking Living Daylights. I like that one, but the thing that he was missing is he was too serious. He didn't have the charm. He didn't have the sneaky, shit-eating grin. You know, yes. I think Pierce Brosnan was also. He had the look. He probably had the best look of all those guys. You know, Pierce Brosnan kind of looked like the quintessential Bond to me, but for my money, if I was to be a Bond, I would like to be the kind that is Hajimura, who is more heavier on the what you call the carousing and the gallivanting around with women and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Well, let me acknowledge some of these comments here.
Yes.
Somebody's saying that we should cast you as 007.
True.
There would be even nobody would believe that much. All the lady, it would just be strictly lady stuff. You'd be like, I don't want to fight. Let me just have the lady parts.
Yeah, I'd be like, do we need to? Come on.
Or Mez Franca, a good Bond villain.
I wish Hermes Franca.
Right. So here's what I will say. I don't disagree with you about Roger Moore's charm. I do think he had a great balance of the comedy and the sexiness part. Like I do think he had that breezy, he could do that bit, which and like I said, yeah, and I've been watching, like I said, Mad Men for the 4th time or whatever, and he's like the Don Draper type. Yeah. Which he's coming, you can't say hey. So I do like the Roger Moore ones. The funny thing is I used to work on a show called Movies for Guys Who Like Movies, and we used to do these interstitial things. And so I used to watch all these Bond movies and have to then talk about them. So I remember doing the whole thing with the George Lazenby, and he was the only one who ever got one, and he was like a failure at it, and he's just sort of the footnote Bond. I will say, so yes, I do like for me, there's a bit of a tie between Roger Moore and Sean Connery in a way, because I think Sean Connery, though, was so I think the fact that he didn't take it as cheekily and as lightly, like it was, sure. It was hot. Like like if we're talking about which one does KB want to mash, it's like Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan are going to actually be near the top, and actually Daniel Craig could get it. And then, it would maybe go down from there. Like Pierce is almost too pretty for me. So I might be a little concerned, but I have why am I blanking on the name now? He's got that movie caper with Rene Russo that I love so much.
With Rene Russo, Thomas Crown Affair.
The Thomas Crown Affair, right? His remake of it is. That was good. I love that movie so much because I have a huge I have a Pierce Brosnan crush from like Moonlighting and from that movie, right? So
Remington Steele,
right? Exactly. Oh yeah, not Moonlighting. Sorry, Remington Steele, right? So like, there's already a big, huge I love Pierce Brosnan part of me. I don't necessarily think he's the best Bond though, but I have a lot of affinity for him. But in terms of it was fun. The Roger Moore ones, I think, are probably those are like Octopussy and all those, right? Like those are the ones you kind of remember, like Goldfinger, all those, right? Like those are the wheelhouse ones.
Spy Who Loved Me,
right? The Spy Who Loved Me, exactly. Because also the theme songs were way better. And very memorable. So I would probably say Roger Moore is my favorite Bond. That said, I admit to not giving as much time to the Daniel Craig ones as I probably should, because I think he's a great actor and those look cool and they look amazing. And I've seen some of them. They're a little long, but I think he's good.
The first fucking one with Daniel Craig was fantastic. The
Casino Royale
I thought that was and then they fucked up a little bit, and then Skyfall was and then the last one was enjoyable too. But that one, what was that one that there's two that was turkeys to me? The fucking
wasn't there like a 2-part one? There was
now it had a long name or something.
Oh, here, I'll look it up. I'm just saying I just haven't.
The Quantum of Solace. I was like, get the fuck out.
That's it, Quantum of Solace. I think that might be one I tried to watch, and I was like, what is happening?
That was a piece of shit. And then Spectre was.
He never went to family court, though, did he? I mean,
no, because he was protected by the fucking MI6 or whatever.
So Richard says Connery had the most swag, and see, that's what I'm saying. I think he did. Like, okay, I think he's actually the sexiest.
He's the certain type. It depends on the kind of woman you are, because Sean Connery is the kind of guy that would smack a woman. He's that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're right. No, you're right. He would be like
he's like a gorilla pimp. You know what I mean? Whereas Roger Moore is the kind of guy that cheat on you and then make you forgive him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can charm the pants off of you, Karayu. He don't need to put the goon hand. But even Sean Connery talk about that. You ever see that Barbara Walter where he's like talking about hitting a woman? You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, I shouldn't show you. You're not gonna like him after that one.
That's too bad, Money Penny.
Yeah, she goes like, I remember back in, a couple years back, I interviewed you, said, you can hit a woman with, you don't hit her with a closed fist, you hit with an open hand. I didn't like that very much. I didn't love that. And he goes, well, yeah, no, well, I haven't changed my mind about that. And then she goes, what? And then he's like, well, and she goes, you think it's good to hit a woman? And he goes, well, I don't think it's that bad. He goes, sometimes the thing about women is you give them the last word and they're not happy with the last word, and he goes, if it merits it, and I go, oh, carajo. Yeah. And he's talking about, so he put the goon hand. And it's so funny to me that all these women, it's like, oh, he's that sweet, old, suave, and he's like, yeah, he put the goon hand down, poor huh? So he's old school, huff you around he'll give you a fresh one.
Okay.
Now,
so Pierce and Daniel Craig, I guess then. Daniel Craig.
Say that I don't love me some Sean Connery. I'm just saying
he's
not above. He's an old school brute. He's a brute.
Yeah. He's from the streets. He's the street Bond.
He's one of those old men from the man time where you drink a scotch and you put the goon hand.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of the one where he give you the last word, but you're not happy with the last word.
The last word.
And he goes like this. He goes, now you see, women are very good at this. They get you into a sort of provocative situation.
So it's our fault.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of winding you up, so I needed to be.
I give you the last word. Well, that's what you get for putting him above my beloved Roger Moore. Okay.
I said I like Roger Moore.
No,
but Roger Moore would not be the first one I would want to make out with. That's like he wouldn't be the first one I'd want to make out with.
It makes sense that internally, not in your head, but in your loins, you go for the guy that's a gorilla pimp, because everything it never ceases to amaze. It's like sometimes just even though I don't want to get in trouble here, but
I know what you're saying.
Listen, I'm going to put it to you this way, and I'm not criticizing some of the women that I've known, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from them. Some of the women that is the most outspoken feminist online and stuff like that, in the bedroom, and now the bedroom is a very different place than real life, okay? In the bedroom, in my experience, those ones is the ones who like to play the most with the dynamic of being dominated and being maybe even for play disrespected and half the hound and stuff. I'm not joking. And I
know you're not joking.
I trip out on that. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just an observation in my humble experience as a Renato Laranja. As just a humble Renato Laranja, I have seen this to be the facts.
I will comment on this with the understanding and awareness that my mother watches this show.
Yeah.
I will just say strong, independent, go-getter, career-minded, badass bees like to sometimes
say it. Don't let that.
I'm saying if you're a badass bee, you're out here crushing stuff all day, and like sometimes you want to be reminded that like you're also. I don't know. I'm never mind. I'm not going to phrase. I'm not phrasing this correctly. I'm not phrasing it correctly.
Karyn Bryant,
but I'm not. Let me just say, I'm not surprised by what you told me.
I think everything you're saying, even though you're not coming out and saying it, because it sounds distasteful. It sounds anti-feminist or whatever to even speak out what you're talking about here. But I think there's certain things in our makeup that is just flies in the okay, perfect example.
Alphas want alphas. That's what I'll tell you is an alpha. I'm an alpha. I want an alpha.
You need a more alfalfa, true alfalfa you. Yeah, I understand. I understand that, and it's true. But what I was gonna say, wait, what was I saying there before you said?
Well, I was parsing my language without saying, but it may seem anti-feminist to say you want to be manhandled, but some women really want to be manhandled.
I got it now. One thing I was gonna say is like, I think that some Chinese, the things that we have to do to live in polite society and live in evolved society, sometimes go against our animal DNA, let's say. Yeah. So that don't means that it's not something to shoot for, to be a more evolved species, that to do stuff that's against the more base nature or whatever. Like, we can know that intellectually and strive for that stuff, but don't get it twisted. Inside is an animal that behave and want certain stuff. So, perfect example. You, as a man, you can get married, you can have your babies, you can be faithful to your wifey. Mm-hmm. You can't do that one. Don't mean that come natural to you, and that don't mean that that's not completely against your natural animal evolution or whatever. You know, the way that you design. You know. But we have to, we can't just go around fucking, you can't go around clubbing someone over the head that you don't like. We have laws. We have a modern society. You understand? So
it's pretty clear how I feel about marriage, isn't it?
Oh, God, boy, you know how the fuck I feel about that one. It's a fool's errand.
I tried. I tried. Although, even though going into it, I was like, don't think this is for me. And I said it. I was legit. I was 100% honest. And
children is the same one. It's a fruit of a poison tree.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we were supposed to be talking about all kinds of British stuff, and I guess the James Bond thing degenerated into that.
Well, he's British.
I will say, when it comes to the great British battle, where do you stand, Beatles versus Stones? Because I know where I stand. I know there's one of them I appreciate, and I love them both. But there's one that I really appreciate, and then there's one that I effing love.
Man, okay, this is a hard one. This is a strange one, because first of all, if I'm picking British bands, neither of those two is my favorite of all time.
Okay, but those are two of the most iconic.
And I understand that they're the one that people pit against the other. Okay. Yeah. If I'm gonna analyze this like a fucking, like being Hilly analyzing this shit, I love the Rolling Stone. Okay, I love the Rolling Stone. They got so many songs I like. But if I'm gonna look at like musicianship, songwriting, all that stuff, if that matters, the Beatles, just for the amount of time that they was together and on the earth or whatever, you know, together, I think there was a more important band. You know, I think that they did. I think that there was just, there was more important. I think they did, you know, more. I think the musicianship is superior. You know, I believe that. Now, I to be honest, I probably listen to the Stones more than I listen to the Beatles. But it's almost because the Beatles is so fucking big that you almost forget. You take them for granted. You know how you kind of take Elvis for granted? You're like, Elvis. But you don't like sit there and listen to all the Elvis songs. You know, it's like the Beatles is bigger than the Beatles, you know? They're like
bigger than Elvis.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so fucking big, you forget. And then I remember I was watching that. You remember that documentary? Or it's not even a documentary. You just have that footage of the rehearsals and that came on like Apple TV or whatever, you know, recently.
Of who? Of the Beatles?
Yeah, it's like the guy who did Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson came out with like this hours and hours and hours of this recently uncovered footage of them, and you don't even know about that.
Well, I don't think I saw it. No.
It was a big deal, and I watched a little bit of that, and then that made me to just kind of start fucking around with like the Beatles albums from the beginning, and I got lost in that stuff, and I was going hit after hit after hit after hit, you know, like where I'm going, God, I forgot about the fucking Beatles, because I used to listen to the Beatles more when I was a little kid for some reason. Yeah. That music was like kids' music to me. You know, because they talk about a fucking octopus guard. So a lot
right,
of
right. And yellow submarine and all that. Yeah.
All that shit. And then I was like, fuck, I forgot. Yeah, the Beatles. Porra, you know? But I almost put the Stone in a different category. Those guys is more grimy. Those guys is here like grimy, Steal You Girl. You know, those guys was a little more dangerous, you know?
Well, that's what I was going to say, because for me, it's very, very clear. I am a Rolling Stones girl, like without a doubt. Because, but I agree with you. To me, the Beatles may be more influential and more quote unquote important. But if I ever get a boyfriend, if my boyfriend's over and we're gonna fool around, you can guarantee I'm putting the Rolling Stones on and not the Beatles. You know what I mean?
It's more sexy music. There's no question.
And so to me, the Rolling Stones speaks to my body, and the Beatles speaks to my brain, right? So that's how I've always kind of thought that of them. Yeah. And I really do love the Beatles too, because a lot of time, like you said, you can go on these deep dives. Like if you sit there, you know, and you're vibing out, and you put on like the White Album and stuff like that, it's amazing. They're amazing. They're absolutely incredible. And it's phenomenal what they've done.
Here's a way to look at it. Citizen Kane is maybe considered one of the greatest movie, or some people think it's the greatest crafted movie of all time.
Right.
Okay. How many times have you seen Citizen Kane versus like Hockey 3?
Right. Watch Rocky all day.
It don't mean Hockey 3 is a better fucking movie.
Right.
But for some
people,
you go watching that other one more. You know, like for some fucking reason, one is just more appealing to you. You know, it go down. You just want that one more. You want to.
It's funny though, because but I will say though, like, so in college, so Ringo Starr's step
with the Rolling Stones.
I went to college with Ringo Starr's stepdaughter. She lived across the hall from me, Francesca Gregorini. So
that
she's
sounds like a made-up name. Hey, Gregorini.
I know it does sound like a made-up name, but it's her real name, Francesca Gregorini. She's Barbara Bach's daughter. Speaking of James Bond, so Barbara Bach, I believe, was a Bond girl, and her daughter Francesca lived across the hall from me.
Oh, she was Ringo Starr.
So Barbara was with Ringo,
but
and
so she have Ringo's schnoz.
No, but I'm saying Francesca's not Ringo's daughter. So Barbara Bach had a daughter named Francesca. Barbara Bach, I believe, was a Bond girl at one point or whatever. I'm saying I don't know who. Somebody Gregorini is Francesca's stepfather. Anyway, the point was,
okay.
So I moved. So I'm showing up to college, and like the elevator door opens, thing opens. It's like there's Ringo Starr. I was like, huh. Wow. There's Ringo Starr and this gorgeous woman and their gorgeous daughter. And I was like, oh. And so then I get in the elevator and I remember it closes and somebody was like, was that just Ringo Starr? And we were like, yeah, no, that was definitely Ringo Starr, right? And so Francesca lived across the hall from me. Really cool girl. I believe she's a filmmaker and stuff now. So I saw Ringo twice. I saw him on move-in day and I saw him on graduation day or whatever. Wow. But yeah, and so it's that kind of thing of it was like, oh my God, it's a Beatle. Oh my God, it's a Beatle. Like it's huge, right? It's like when I ran into David Bowie somewhere, I was like, and I've met a bunch of people, but there's a couple few that like so to me, like if I saw Keith Richards or Mick, like I'd lose I'd be like, come on.
I mean, of the Rolling Stones, Mick, I have an affinity for him simply. Like no one would ever say he had the best voice in Rock and Roll history or whatever.
Right.
But you could put him number one for stage presence and fucking like the dancing and groove, whatever the fuck he's doing on stage when he's on smoke,
dude.
Like doing that stuff. And talk about a guy who to women was irresistible, but he looked fucking ugly and gorgeous at the same time. Like he's the most desirable, but one of the ugliest motherfuckers you ever seen, but also one of the best. I don't know. I don't even know how to have my head on that guy.
That's called confidence because it is sexy. But that's 100% it. Like I watch. I really like watching like old concert movies and stuff.
Oh,
you know, and so obviously we've seen Altamont. We've seen these things, but I forget which one it was. It wasn't the Altamont one. It was a different Stones performance, though.
Did I tell you my mom was there at Altamont?
You did tell me that, right? Yeah.
And you
it's crazy. That is crazy. But it might have been that one, but if not, it was a different one. And like, I literally, like, I'll stop what I'm doing and just vibe out on a Rolling Stones concert film. Like, I can't believe how good they are. And like, that's what I'm saying, that stage presence of, like, that's what I'm saying. You can't compare Paul or John to Mick in that way. Like, it's not even the same universe.
It's a different stuff. You know, it, like you said, it appealed to you, your guts and your loins. And there's something about almost like, you know how like classical music or jazz appeals to a certain part of you, whereas like heavy metal and hip hop appeal to a different part of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one, like you said, head versus heart or guts or bouncing. That's what it is. They appeal to the funky stuff.
It's true. Getting back to I missed this before. Apparently you were in a James Bond movie, Favela of
This is true. It was also the days before the HIV porn.
Hopefully, yes.
And also the villain is fucking Vinnie Margulies. Fat.
So Dean D agrees with me. Stones are more grimy and the Beatles are more clean. I mean, it is kind of like that. And yeah, it is maybe the different parts of your brain. Because I love the Beatles. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't.
I'll tell you this. The Beatles were the people who took the acid and the psychedelics and whatever the fuck they was doing. They did that. They was the first one. Everybody followed them after that.
Yeah.
But they was the ones that really expanded broke it wide open, and everybody came through that window, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the Stones is smart. I love how the Stones have no fucking shame about just jumping on a trend. Like after Sgt. Pepper, they came out with like Her Majesty's rainbow.
Yeah, on Her Majesty's special service or something.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was, and it was like they hacked hip hop.
Have you seen the Lady Jane?
You know what I'm saying?
She comes in colors everywhere. Wasn't it after that one?
Yeah, it's like wizards and fucking warlocks.
She's a Rainbow is a great song though, by the way.
She's a Rainbow. That's on that one. Okay, and it's great stuff. But then, and also when disco, they come with like I Miss You. You know what I'm saying? They had no qualms about like, we're just gonna do this shit, you know.
Well, Miss You. It's funny because I haven't gotten to hang them up here in my place, but I'm looking. I have my I have some album covers framed, and Some Girls is one of the ones that I have framed because that album is so amazing. Like, it's incredible. Miss You is such a sick song. So
my favorite song.
Miss You is amazing, but my favorite Stones is Dying to Meet You. We're gonna bring a case of wine. Woo! Come on. Miss You is sick, but I think my favorite, and I used it on the today on my story, is Can You Hear Me Knocking? Like that to me, the riff of Can You Hear Me Knocking is one of the purest. Like I hear it, like it should be my trigger for like if like I hear that and I go, I just it does something to me. Like literally, it speaks to my DNA. That guitar riff.
Shattered. I love Monkey Man or whatever. I'm a monkey.
Monkey Man is great. Yeah, well, then we get into our Goodfellas because they use, Scorsese obviously uses the Stones so well.
But there's also, I like some of they have some songs that is in a genre that I wouldn't even normally fuck with that almost sound like bluegrass or some shit. You know,
Yeah.
Western. There's one.
Oh yeah, where he's like, you got them cocaine eyes. Here it is. Yeah.
But
That's in the
is there's one called like no expectations.
No.
It's off of I think it's on the same one that is Monkey Man or whatever. It was like, I got no expectation. Just
I might have. Right.
You know that one, and they have a lot of different style. I love those guys. I listen to the Stones more.
Yeah, it's true. But it is interesting though.
Now, if you want to put either of those bands against my favorite of all time, Led Zeppelin, both of those ones can take a long walk off a short pier. To me, Led Zeppelin blows those guys out the fucking water. You want to talk about feeling sick? Oof. Here's the thing about Led Zeppelin they have the best of both of those worlds, because they have the heart and the balls of the Rolling Stones,
Robert Plant,
but they also have the musicianship of the Beatles, where each member of that crew was the best that they position.
Yeah,
no one could out guitar Jimmy Page. No one could out drum John Bonham. You know, and I guess I don't know about. I'm not an aficionado on the bass and the keyboard, but João Paul Jones, was great, and that voice that you can't fuck with Robert Plant. You know.
No, Robert Plant. I remember seeing Robert Plant in concert, like on the Big Log tour or whatever, and he was still so unbelievably sexy. And like you're right, like he's the same kind of Mick, that front man that you cannot take your eyes off of. Yeah.
Yeah, and he could sing his fucking ass off, porra.
Zeppelin's great. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, porra, Led Zeppelin. To me, there's Led Zeppelin, and there's just. They at the top of the mountain for me. Somebody might say Hush. Somebody might say Sticks. Somebody might say fucking anything. But for me.
But that tracks for tonight. They're British, you know. Led Zeppelin's British. But it's funny because it reminds me. But if the whole thing is like Beatles or Stones, and then you say Zeppelin, and it reminds me, because like I have my diner poster here from the movie that I love, and the guy's trying to figure out who he should put on when he wants to make out with his girls, and so he's doing a poll, and he goes, okay, Sinatra or Mathis, and then Boogie's like Presley, you know what I mean? He's like Elvis, like, and so it's just a funny thing. It's like, if Beatles or Stones, you just throw Zeppelin in, and then you're like, well,
you know what the thing? If there's no Beatles or Stones, there's no Zeppelin. So you have to honor the people that came before, you know.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That like the shit that the Beatles did with breaking those doors open and making it possible to go from I want to hold your hand to like crazy psychedelic shit, made it possible so that a band like Led Zeppelin could come out with shit that's like about wizards and fucking weird J.H.H. Tolkien shit, you know?
You're right. I will say this too, though. Mick Jagger begat Robert Plant. Robert Plant is why a guy like Harry Styles can do what Harry Styles is doing. Harry Styles is much more on a pop tip, but I really like Harry Styles, and Harry Styles draws a lot from the great George Michael, who I absolutely love. And Harry Styles with like his clothes and stuff is very Mick Jagger-y.
His clothes for sure. Yeah, I see a lot of Mick Jagger DNA in Styles, except for Styles is just, you could argue that Mick Jagger wouldn't be any woman's cup of tea, but fucking Harry Styles is like, there's no one in the world that would not think the guy's fucking.
Yeah, he's cute. He's cute.
He looks like, I can see that the guy's fucking great looking, you know? Whereas Mick Jagger, like, he tricks you into you thinking he's a good looking, porra, you know?
It's like the Steven Tyler school of like, not really, but for a rock star, yeah.
He could be working at fucking Jamba Juice, and the chicks want to fuck that guy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well, here's one though, because bringing in D&D, also bringing up Pink Floyd. So, like, how do you feel about Pink Floyd and that whole?
Okay, I respect Pink Floyd. Again, listen, there's nothing that hits like a Led Zeppelin. Unless you're talking about like to get something that hits like that, you have to go into the future. You have to go into like a different genre of music. there's no hawk band that could follow Led Zeppelin. It would have to be like a heavy metal band. You understand? The next
I hear you. Okay.
step, you understand? Like
yeah,
the next
I do.
step
I understand what you're saying. I understand
like,
what you're saying.
You know who could fuck with, who could even, and they can't fuck with them, but like Black Sabbath, you know, which was like the next evolution
Of course.
harder shit. But as far as just straight hawk and hog goes, Led Zeppelin blow the fucking doors off any of those fucking bands.
I will say this. I agree with you, but I'm going to do a lateral movement because, but Pink Floyd is great, and "Wish You Were Here" is my favorite Pink Floyd record of all. But lateral movement, I would say, for what they did for the genre of music that they did, The Clash is effing huge and massive.
Sure.
And like, you can't discount guys, you know, I'm obviously people like the Jam, and there's a lot of stuff, but to, you know, when we're talking, you know, The Clash, you know, I was joking before about wearing my Smiths t-shirt and stuff, but I used to like love the Smiths back then, but, but The Clash was huge and influential in so many ways.
It's a different genre. I mean, The Clash is like one of those iconic band too of their shit, you know?
Yep. John, I mean, obviously Sex Pistols, all that kind of stuff. Like there's been a lot of incredible British stuff.
I think The Clash was like also an antidote to all the stuff we was just talking about, because probably the kids that were sick of the Led Zeppelins of the world and stuff, like they were like, The Clash, fuck Led Zeppelin, you know what I mean? Fuck the Allman Brother, whatever, you know, like, yeah, punk, you know, so I understand that shit too. But for me, I'm a sucker for blues, like bluesy hiffs or whatever, but that with like a guy singing like he's a female in the medieval times or something like that, and talking about evil shit and that stuff like that. I'm a sucker for that mixture of blues and you know the devil shit and like, you know, the fantasy swords and swords.
I hear you. Yes, in the something of Mortar or whatever. But yeah, I think I've seen Judas Priest in concert. I met Lemmy. Motorhead was British, right? Because I met Lemmy.
Oh, Motorhead is definitely British.
Yeah.
Judas Priest too.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Queen is amazing. I've met Brian May and interviewed Brian May before. Queen is massive.
As far as Frenchmen, now Queen don't have all my favorite hits like let's say Led Zeppelin have. But as a Frenchman, like singing voice wise, he might be the greatest. He might be the greatest.
No, I agree. Freddie Mercury might be the greatest.
I don't know if anybody could fuck with that guy.
It's like it's goosebumps. It's like,
and he have those chopper.
The choppers. Got the choppers.
He have those choppers and even the mustache.
You know, it's funny, Slow DK. I don't love Interpol. I don't know why. It's not a band I was able to really get into. I don't know why.
Is he bad if I never even heard of that one?
No, it's just, Elmo Duran likes Morrissey, you know, a little moles. Sepultura was British? I didn't realize Sepultura.
No, Sepultura is fucking Brazilian, porra. Yeah.
Oh, the Jam. Tim likes the Jam. You know, the Jam were great. People like
talking about it. To me, we're not even now. We're going far into different genres.
I know. Now we're different. Well, we were going to touch on a little thing. You know, I do have to like pack and get out of here soon. We're on our on the 2-hour mark here, Renato. But there is some.
Let me stop you, Paul.
No, I was going to say. I wanted to ask you about the one thing I am very much looking forward to when I go is eating fish and chips. I don't know, you know, although a lot of people kind of don't love English food. The last time I was there, I ate some pretty good stuff.
I mean, fish nice.
So good. Fish and chips is delicious. So I'm looking forward to that. But I was reading a book a little while ago, and I meant to save the picture, and I don't have it here. But there was a sandwich called a Nut Buddy, which is apparently a sandwich, Renato, that you can get. It's bread and then like French fries and butter, I think.
Now you lost me, Paul.
It's called a Nut Buddy. I'm going to look up the picture again.
That sandwich, I'm going to take a fucking nap. I'm going to have to go lay down. Like somebody put fucking poison, like in a spy movie. If I ate a sandwich of what? Bread, French fries?
Yeah, it's like a nut. It's bread, French fries, and butter, I think.
Yeah, fuck that. That's not for you, Uncle Hanach.
Yeah, okay, here it is. Yeah, so here Yeah. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. No. Oh, wait. That no, the nut.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. English, people make fun of the food and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
it's more than a few times that you almost would be hard pressed to find Indian food better than in England.
Oh my God. Yes. The
Outside
Indian
of,
food there's amazing.
like outside of India, apparently you can't fuck with the Indian food in the UK or whatever.
No, that's facts. That's facts. Okay. So this is it. It's called, the chip. Sorry. The chip buddy. Chips for fries. All right. So it's a chip buddy. It's
What, have ketchup on there?
I guess apparently you can put ketchup on it. It's a chip buddy, yeah, not a nut buddy. So here's a double decker chip buddy.
That heats up like people, you not having a lot of money and you gotta get something and jazz it up like that,
Yeah. Yes, and I think it also everybody, because I was reading a book and they were talking about this, and in the book the woman was reading it, was eating it, and I was like, what the heck is it? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God. And then I remember posting about it, and then people were like, bro, that chip buddy's going to save your life on the way out of the pub at 2 a.m. or whatever, because it'll soak up all the alcohol.
Okay, now for medicinal purposes, I could see that, but I can't even fathom just being like, I can't wait for, you know what I mean? But in that situation, fair enough. I could see that.
Yeah.
And unlike a slice of pizza, you're not going to have that cheese to kind of like fuck you up. You know what I mean? The cheese can disagree with the alcohol.
The dairy can get in there and get.
If you trying to get that soak up the alcohol vibe, I feel like it would be better than the classic like pizza or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have the cheese. You just have the starch and the fucking.
It's all starch.
I could see that working for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna. People are like, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. And I do love how there's beans for breakfast, because at the breakfast at the hotel, we have like a breakfast buffet, and it is cool that there's all the British stuff too. Like I don't think they have blood pudding and that kind of thing at the breakfast buffet at this hotel. Blood pudding is gnarly, but they do have beans, and it's like it's cute that they eat beans.
Would you? You know what I'm gonna make for you? Traditional blood sausage. I'm gonna from last week. I'm gonna put a Levitra and get the blood. You're gonna get extra blood on that one.
You and your Levich. Isn't that funny? Partner for the horizontal tango. Yeah, I guess that is.
No, I don't mind being for breakfast.
I missed it's the chip buddy. It's the chip buddy. But yeah, you and Levich. Are you doing an ad campaign for Levitricus?
Hey, if Levich want to come sponsor the show, I'm not mad at that one. Levich, they can do testing on me, Paul. They can do a control test. I can be part of the control group.
Hey, so you have to go back out to that child custody case, though, you think?
No, I don't think. I know.
Okay. Because here's what I was going to say is I had kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the show. It's just that, so I'm going tomorrow night and then I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay and have like a little vacation. So I'm not sure if next Tuesday, if we'll be really doing anything, because because of the time change for one thing. And, I might like to just actually have a vacation for
your Uncle Hanach have to go to the Supreme Court to deal with stuff. But I'm saying when I miss stuff, so I have to switch, is because like an act of God, like a Supreme Court or whatever. For you gallivanting across the world, enjoying hotels and British men, posh, older man.
I hope. God, from your lips to God's ears.
I hope you meet the kind of man. Did you used to watch Absolutely Fabulous, Paul?
Fab, of course.
I don't know if you remember, but he showed up in a couple. He was my favorite character on there. He showed up in a couple episodes, like the one where they went to like Marrakesh or whatever. And he's like he's like an old intellectual, but he looked like George Plimpton or something like that. And he's trying to hit on their like teenage daughter or whatever. Yeah. And then they walk in. Remember. Yeah, I hope you didn't think I was some sort of dirty old man. You remember that guy?
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Do you remember the show The Young Ones?
That
With Nigel, all the
have,
guys that
you know who have that have, I think he's the guy who Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadow.
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know because I used to watch The Young Ones and I guess they're all on YouTube. I think I showed my kid one a while back because I used to love The Young Ones with all the dudes that lived in the house. And there was like that one straight-laced one who, you know, and he was always reading this paper and he was just like the normal guy. And there was Nigel and then there was the punk rocker and there was all this.
I'm not an aficionado of that, but I fell in love with the character Laszlo on What We Do in the Shadow. Okay. He's the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. I never heard of this guy before. So I did some research. Turns out he's in all these fucking shows in on the BBC. And then he's a star over there, but we never seen him. And because he's too good to have just come out of nowhere. He's kind of kind of like halfway chubby, and he's arrogant. He's the kind of guy, I would describe him as a British Danny McBride. Like a guy who's
nice.
Chubby, not great looking, who carry himself like he's the greatest thing since he sliced bread. You know what I mean? Like he's gorgeous. It's unfucking believable. And he was on that shit. And he's on some other shit where he played like an actor that thinks he's the shit too. I forgot the fucking name of that one. But
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen What We Do in the Shadows. We've had the conversation before. I like the earlier season more, but
you're gonna upset me. But I hope you didn't think I was some sort of dirty old meow. I like that kind of person who talk like that too, you know. Like,
or did you ever see the I?
Huh?
Have you ever seen the what is it, the IT crowd or whatever too? There was like that was kind of a goofy like British comedy or whatever.
What did I see though that was good?
They're saying you were in Snuff Box or something. I don't know. Somebody's saying you should watch Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Oh yeah, he's in that shit too. I watched a little. I caught a little bit of that shit. You gotta see this fucking guy. He's a comedy genius.
Really? Okay.
The guy, he plays Laszlo. You know, you don't remember the show very much. The What We Do in the Shadow.
Like I said, I remember seeing the movie and then the first season.
I'm talking about the fucking show, Paul. He's the one. He's married to the one who's kind of like talk like Ivanka, you know. Like,
yes. Okay. Yeah.
Married to her, and he's a heel piece of shit. He's a heel like selfish, self-involved vampire.
Nice.
And he always says shit like "me boy." He's like, "No, I don't think so, me boy." Or like "me old boy."
Too familiar
for that fucking guy. But yeah, the other guy, I gotta show you the fucking thing from Ab Fab because he's hitting on this like teenage, and he's a heel scumbag, and he was like, "No, I don't even want to say the whole spiel. I have to."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we could wrap it up here in a few, but so I guess people should just.
Any question from the people before we leave?
Right. Well, and also I was just going to say, and I had given the speech at the beginning of the show too, is that it is a great idea, and somebody had said it last time, but for people to set reminders because you know this is on a Monday night instead of a Tuesday. Like you don't want to miss out on these things, so subscribe and do that.
The other show that guy is in that I was forgetting where he plays an actor is called The Toast of London.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and another fucking show. Speaking of that, it didn't last that long, but you know the guy who created The Office? He did a fucking show called Extras.
Oh my God, I love that show. Are you kidding? It's Stephen Merchant. Are you dude? Extras has one of the scenes that is legit the funniest thing I think I've ever seen, where I almost peed in my pants laughing so effing hard at Stephen Merchant.
Water Splotch, USP.
That show, Extras, I never missed it. I've watched it like twice or a few times. Extras is gold.
If you've ever been around Extras in real life, they touch on shit that is so fucking spot on about that whole culture.
So true.
Fucking Extras. Oh.
Well, I love that whole thing with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, and then that girl too. I forget her name, but like she's in a lot of the stuff with him because she's in Afterlife with him.
Yeah,
she's awesome. So she's in Afterlife with him too. Like they're amazing. Like, dude, literally, I remember like freaking out at this one scene in extras that I don't know if I laughed that hard at anything in so long. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
He's kind of a genius too.
Yeah. Well, I love Ricky Gervais. I know he's problematic, and I know some people don't like. I mean,
you talking. Look who you're talking to about.
I know. I think Ricky Gervais is great.
I can't call anybody problematic at this point. It is what it is. Either comedy is comedy, porra. Comedy is dangerous. Heel comedy is dangerous. Heel comedy is punk rock. Heel comedy is the unexpected. You can't.
Not safe. You can't censor comedy by the definition.
Another stuff about it is like, is there bad comedy? Is there jokes that is just done for? Look, here's my thing. Either it's funny or it's not. Sometimes people do mean comedy and dirty comedy. That's just simply not funny. And that's when it really stand out. When you go, was that necessary? You know, like that's when it's like, when you're just doing it to do it, when you're doing it to ruffle feathers and being funny is not priority one. But when something's fucking funny, it's funny and that's it. That's why your closest friends, you can say stuff to them and joke. You can make jokes about literally anything because you trust each other and you know where each other's heart is. So you can say darkest, dastardliest, racist shit. But only that's never gonna see the light of day.
Right.
But that proves to you that anything can be funny, you know?
For sure.
But certain come out to the light of day, you know, then you think, and then also too, here's another stuff. Okay, I will admit this. There's certain shit that you would say to your closest friend, that's a joke that is in the poorest of taste. Okay? That you probably should not say in public.
Yeah.
Because it's irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? So there's stuff that you shouldn't, you know, that I've heard people say in public and then they get in trouble for, and I go, hey, you should have kept that one in the home or whatever. Like you don't say that. You can't say that and not expect a backlash from that one. So there's stuff. But I don't, you know, if someone's willing to take the backlash, go for it, you know.
I agree. I think funny is funny, and I don't like, you know, the PC police trying to be around comedy. I do think, like you said, some things are just said to be mean and they're not even funny, and they're targeting a group or a kind of people, and it's just stupid and it's not even funny. And so, like, what's the point? But I you know,
I will say this. As someone who says a lot of off-color shit sometimes, I see a lot of people have this argument about you can't say nothing anymore, you're gonna get canceled. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but there's consequence.
Consequences are not canceled.
There's a reason. There is certain, and I'm not gonna name the names because I don't want to maybe even get in trouble for this, but I also don't like talking shit. I have worked with a couple huge company before, okay, where they have started to tell me what I can say and not say, and I made the decision to walk away from a lot of money in order not to destroy what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that mean that every stuff I gotta do is grass hooch or whatever. But see, I'm making the choice. Other people is making the choice to make the big bucks and do the commercial stuffs, and then they want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to say all the fucking stuffs, and that's not how it works. When you're working for somebody else and you're working under the umbrella of a fucking Disney or whatever the fuck you're working, you have to take that stuff into consideration. Now
we're going to have to find the happy medium at some point, Renato, because I do want to sell this show and I want us to blow up. So
I understand that. And I do curtail some of the shit for this fucking show. You know, there are stuffs that I would do in my own. I go very, very fucking far in some of the stuff that I do by myself.
Yeah.
And
you take yourself to the limit.
I understand that in doing that, I make myself not commercially viable. That material is not commercially viable. So I'm paying the consequence. So if you want to say whatever the fuck you want, you can. But don't expect you can't expect to have people who is trying to make money off products to accept that. They're trying to make $1.01 in this business. Yeah. So stop complaining. It just means that you want all the money. But if you really want to be punk cock and say whatever you want, you can do that. Yeah. But don't expect to be hired by, Disney and fucking whatever.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's so true. You can say whatever you want. You just have to recognize there could be consequences, and you just got to be ready for them. So, I mean,
it's not don't want those consequences.
Right. And exactly. But at any rate, it was fun talking.
For heating handball anytime soon, or any, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain stuff I'm never going to be able to do.
Well, I was going to say, and you don't want that anyway. And it's funny because, you spend a lot of time, especially, people in entertainment, and you want to do your own thing, but you also, like you said, you want to be employable, and you want to kind of get your own buzz going for being your own unique thing. But you got to remember, they need to be able to plug you into this thing. Like it's a delicate balance a lot of time of individuality, but also being one of the things that fits in the box. And, it's tricky.
Artistes, there's a lot of, the graveyard is full of artistes that no one ever heard of. And that's the thing. What do you want? Do you want to be disgustingly hitched? Do you want to be liked by everyone? Do you want to be commercially viable where you can be pumped into every, the average home or whatever? Or do you want to be a fucking a niche person, a cult figure that only certain people know about, but they love that? Do what you want. But the choice is yours. Nobody's, look at David Chappelle. They say people trying to cancel him. Well, you can't really cancel somebody. Like, you can't really cancel the guy. You know what I mean?
No, you can't cancel Chappelle. Like, he doesn't need you.
Now, he might close up some opportunities for himself. Like, I'm just saying, he might close the door to certain movies or sitcom. I don't know, but he's never not going to be able to go and make a killing doing his style of comedy forever. So it's like I'm that broken record of the canceling and the
so tired.
Want these days. I'm getting that broken record, and
I'm so over the canceling thing and stuff. It's crazy,
I'm over complaining about the canceling too.
Exactly. It's just consequences, like Tony Kelly thing, right?
Here's a perfect example, just one perfect example of this. Sometimes I post something on my stuffs that is just like polarizing. Like, some people is either going, it's like, it's filthy, or just, he said, like, it's just distasteful, let's say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Always, I'm gonna have this handful of comments that's gonna go, "Poha, the shame of it is you can't save this kind of stuff anymore." Or
like I just did.
Or here come the PC police or the cancel police in 2, 3, 1 or whatever, 3, 2, 1. Meanwhile, no one but them is saying that. No one is doing it. Only them complaining about the cancel police or whatever.
Right.
Tons of them. More than, and there's no one saying you can't say this or how dare you or whatever. It's all people complaining about something that never end up happening. Where they becoming the buzzkill instead of just laughing. They're going, "Oh, I love this, but too bad you can't enjoy this now. You can't even say stuff." I am saying stuff like that, and I never stop. Here it is. You're watching it with your own 2 eyes. So it's like people is sometime in a little bit of like a fantasy loop in they political circles and stuff like that, where you're making it happen. You know?
No, it's true.
Like,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. There's not too many people. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that like said something where I was like, well, I'm done. I mean, now I might be off of Sean Connery thanks to what you just told me earlier, but other than that,
that's such an old one that I thought for sure you knew about that one.
no, I didn't know
think
that. But yeah, it takes a lot.
Don't watch it. Don't look
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
I won't. It
You
takes
won't
a
like
lot for me to really, I guess, cancel. I mean, if I
it.
quote unquote canceled somebody, I probably wasn't that big of a fan anyway to begin with. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
For your own love of the movies, don't watch that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so anyway, like we were saying, next week maybe we can figure out a time to do something, or maybe it'll just be, after I get back. Maybe we just have a week off. But if we do take the week off, this is a great time. This is episode 45, Renato. So that means there's plenty of stuff that people can catch up on, because the cool thing is that every week people are discovering us more. And I do think, the word is starting to get out a little bit more. Well, there's a ton of episodes with like all your favorite fighters. You know what I mean? We've already got a bunch of cool people. So if you're here for the first time, or if you've only seen a few of these shows, look on my channel, or just go to fistivities.com. They're all there.
Fistivities.com. How are we old enough to even have 40? Don't even seem like we're old enough to have 45 shows.
I know.
What were we, 15 when this came out?
I mean, yeah.
What God are you? Okay, well, it looked like my phone is turning into a pumpkin here. It's about to turn off. Well, it looked like we had a good success with the fucking 5EG.
Yes, I think that's the trick.
Except, isn't that come through the vaccine that gave me brain cancer plus control, turn me into a pedophile?
I think it's exactly that. Next week, just wear a tinfoil hat and you'll be set.
It's a fair trade, because no glitches in that one.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen.
Match. The 5EG.
Renato,
with the chip.
I'm glad you were available tonight. And Tuesday. I mean, what are you going to do tomorrow? I mean, now you got a whole night free to yourself.
I can do whatever I want for her. Just like with the comedy and stuff. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want for her. No one can stop me.
Your money. That's all. You're just.
That's true. Money. That's true. That's some sort of dirty meow.
Hey, so where can everybody find you on the social medias?
Oh, porra. Funny enough, they can find me at Renato_Laranja on Instagram.
I thought that was the one. That was a scream. I thought that was the happy one. Sorry.
That's the one you're gonna get when I get my meat hooks onto you. A blood curdling scream. Yeah, you can find me on Renato_Laranja, and from there I'm gonna guide you to all the other wonderful stuffs, like Willy Wonka. I'm gonna guide you, like the chocolate factory.
Nice.
Factory. Nice. You're gonna be Costas Gloop. You're gonna be eating caramel till you fucking fall down. But instead of go down the tube or whatever, you'll get sent out the fucking front door or whatever while it's still dark out. I should get a tube like in Willy Wonka.
Do I get lift money?
And then go. Don't worry, that leads to the chaffee pulling home. Oh God, are you? They get all the chaffee they want, but then they gotta get the fuck out of here.
You can find all of our shows on fistivities.com. It's an easy place to find everything there.
How do you feel, Augustus? Hungry,
yeah.
I fucking love that kid. How do you feel? Hungry. What do you feel? It's gonna cost. I feel sorry for Vanka. It's gonna cost him a fortune on fudge. And he's
the Beauregard's the name.
Oh my God, what an annoying little.
I'm the best gum chewer there is.
Actually, no one's worse though than fucking what's her name?
Daddy, I want to go to Goose and I want it now. Veruca.
Now, Daddy.
Oh, Veruca.
I want feast. I want to be feast. What the fuck is that?
I love Dr. Doolittle. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I love that actually. It's very British.
I want feast. The book is a little different than the movie. I was a little shocked because I prefer Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
But like the shitty one with Depp is kind of more like the book or whatever. But oh, speaking of
Yeah.
the book, I forgot to mention this. Now, if you like James Bond, okay, it's unbelievable because the movies is so good. The books is head and shoulders above the fucking movies.
Oh, the Ian Fleming stuff, yeah.
The books have so much.
Isn't it Ian Fleming or was it Broccoli?
Yeah, no, it's
Ian
Broccoli
Fleming.
is the producer that produced the movies.
Got it.
The books have so what the books have that the movies don't is okay. They touch on it a little bit in the Casino Royale. You know how like they talk about his alcoholism, and the demons that he has and stuff like that from killing people and the PTSD. It gets into a lot more of the what would it really be like for a fucking guy who does this and drinks that much and fucking is that much and like he don't just like he wakes up with splitting headache hangovers and like the smell of the cigarette from the night before in the club. Like it deals with the heel shit. Like he's not just a superhero.
Yeah, because all we ever see is the clean, it's like next day, like he didn't, whatever.
He does all that stuff, all that suave shit and killing and all that stuff. But there's a price to pay. Like he feels fucked up for like killing someone in a fucked up way, or you get into the human side more and also to the funny side a little more. It's just there's more colors in the book.
Well, it's funny because
it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because, like I said, watching Mad Men, but that is one of the things is they do show the consequence because Don Draper's out they're all drinking every night, and they at least do show him the next morning going, oh. I mean, obviously they reach for a cigarette like right away, but at least they are identifying the aftermath of all the stuff that they did. Because, there's no way you could just be superhuman and bounce back up. And then when they showed episode where he went to the doctor and then he said how old he is, you're like, what? Because he looks so much older. It's because of the way they live. Yeah.
and they do this. I think they did that in Skyfall too, like where he tries to have a physical. Or is it the most recent one? One of the ones he's tried to like come back, and he's so fucking out of shit. Like he's so fucked up from cigarettes and like booze, and he's like a little over the hill. He don't even pass his physical and shit. And like they keep doing stuff. That's the style of the book.
That's good. That's good to know. All right. Cool. All right. Well, listen, for anyway, you can find him Renato_Laranja. You can find the shows all at festivities.com, but these do broadcast live on Twitter and Twitch, Renato's Twitch over there. On my YouTube, Twitter, and episode 45. So really, just appreciate all you guys being here. And please do tell your friends. We will always try to acknowledge all of the OGs in the chats and everything. And even if we get big, we always want to make sure that that's still a part of what we're doing here, because we have a lot of fun with you guys.
I'm still big. I'm big. I'm even big than this whole stuff. My schwanz is big, Karyn. It's lurking.
At any rate,
always, at every show, my schwanz is lurking under here like a shark. That, you know what I mean? Like the danger. Even though you don't see that one, like it jowls. Or jowls, as we call it.
Hammerhead or...
Oh, God. Yeah. It's a hammer. I don't even... I'm going to be...
right on time, the cricket came back to help me out.
It's... For real? No, it's like the movie Anaconda. Have you ever seen Anaconda? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
For your homework, I want you to key in on this. Check out John Voight's Brazilian accent.
Oh.
Now, John Voight.
God, now I'm trying to remember.
John Voight is a great actor. That is the worst, maybe accent of all time, but definitely the worst fucking Brazilian accent in history, but maybe it's up there for worst accent performance in the history of film.
All right. Well, nobody noticed because of J-Lo, right? They figured nobody would notice.
Yeah, J-Lo's fucking ass at that point, and then also Ice Cube.
Yeah. Nice. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, on Friday, We will have UFC Live and the pre-show. We're going to have like the old school weigh-ins where, you know, the desk is right there and the folks are walking out and we're talking over them. Then they come right to the desk there. I know for a fact, Patty and Molly are going to be at the desk with us. I'm working with Joe Ban on this one. Paulie Paul Felder is going to be there too. And then also, I think on the post-show, I think it's going to be me, Alan, and Bisbing, which will be mental. So really looking forward to it.
Send me fucking love. Send me love.
I will.
To Molly, Meatball. And
Yeah.
Patty.
There you go. He says, yeah, John Boyd was Vinny Magalesh white belt. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, no.
If that's possible. He was probably trying to do a Magalesh in practice. But he didn't. He needs to put the pack on more weight for that one.
I was just going to say he needed to really bulk up because Vinny's obese.
Yeah, Vinny is obese. He needs to bulk up like a Robert De Niro and fucking Hedging Bulk.
If that's obese.
Calzone and Aranchin.
At any rate, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And we got to get out of here, Renato. I got to pack and stuff.
Okay, what are you choosing you on? I'm out. I'm here. I'm gone.
Thanks, everybody.
Your hand anymore after you came back from your gallivanting across the pond. I hope you get a bang, hold the mash. I hope you get bangers and smashed. Okay, I'll see you out there after that.
See you, Renato. Bye, everybody.
Blind.